Greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, here to share some more fun, some time here on the YouTube streets, so to say. And I've already dropped the link, pinned it to the top of the chat for those who wish to join. It's Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, and I am just filled with inspiration and laughter. I couldn't help myself. My thoughts of the moment got me going, and I was just laughing as the stream was starting. So I'm feeling good, sincerely. What is it? Life is good. I feel good. Good things are always happening to me. You know, our good friend Life is Good, Aaron guy. I haven't seen him for a little bit. Happy Sunday to us all. What's up, Cynthia? Blessings to you. And please share the likes, brothers and sisters. Holy cows, man. DC girl, welcome. Dominic, good to see you. I know there was others. Just Frank, of course. What was this? Good things happen to those who hustle. I truly believe in that, but that's something I may get into as well. A lesson that I've been toying around with and understanding more through the explanations of others. And Talcott Express, bless you, my friend, and congratulations. Celebrate the evening and enjoy your time. Love what everyone has to offer so much, man. Today, the topic, my laughter. So for those who do or don't know, I think based on the names here, everyone kind of does. I just checked into the proper instruction motivates people, just to see if the stream was still going or what I might anticipate, you know. Tune it in and I hear fucking wizard. Wizard bringing my name up again as though I'm some sort of I don't know. The comparison was made as though a false savior, someone who claims to be more than I'm not. And man, I'm just me, man. I'm not claiming to be anything spectacular or special. But I will tell you, I am quite unique, as are you. This is what I've realized. I am you. We are. There's little relevant or differences between us that really make very much significance as far as I'm concerned. Because I see us all as just this one part of history, who is still becoming. Who are you? I am much like you and many others. I'm a very complex man who's living at a very complicated time. I've discovered myself, and I've discovered that the complications of the world, many of the complications of my past were of my own creation, And then I realized the complications of the world were many, were the creation of many other people just like me. So who I am, I'm a child of God, just like you and all others. The distinction between us, our past, right? And that's what makes us different between everyone else, is the past, the environment we came from, and the memories that created us, memories being the genetics, um, the patterns of memory that are the evidence of our parents, our ancestors. We are the results of the past, every single one of us. Who I am, I'm a man who's been blessed. I'm a man who's been blessed with, uniquely, the opportunity and the time to stop, to stop from the world and the chaos. And I've been blessed with the opportunity and time to really not only self-reflect, have time for self-reflection, but I've also had the opportunity to learn from others who are alive today and who have lived from the past. And that's what makes me a little bit unique, is just the life that I've lived. One of the roles I'm trying to play, that I can see myself playing, and I can see many others playing this role as well. We are gatherers. Who I am, who I am. I am the result of what I've been allowed to learn. And I have, especially over the more recent part of my life, the more recent past, I've dedicated my time, energy, and chosen my purpose to see how much I could discover, right? Some things I've done well, some things I haven't, but I've been a gatherer of information. And as I've been gathering information and discovered some truly inspiring, incredible human beings who are alive today, scholars and scientists, academic and, real world travelers who've gained a lifetime of experiences, I've been blessed to learn from and discover a lot of amazing people, maybe even some of the best. I've been allowing my spirit to lead me, and that's why I have such trust. My spirit and my faith has been leading my mind and my development. So who I am, as I'm just like you, I'm a man with a story. And the more I learned about this world, and the more I learned from other inspiring people, people I do admire, I don't place them up on a pedestal, but I sure do pay attention, and I learn and I listen. As I started learning more about the world, I realized how much there is to learn. And that awareness allowed me to gain some more humility in myself, and not in the timid way of the past, but in a way that allowed me to surrender to the possibilities. So in surrendering to the possibilities, with the realization of how little I do know, I started wondering, what could all this be for? And then, with my purpose and my path being that of a spiritual nature, I tried to consider the mind of God. And this is the simple obvious that I realized is true. God, the creator, the source, whatever name you want to bestow upon it, the source of all creation and the Godhead that is, that which reveals time, that's the author. There is a God that is the author of all of history. And we, mankind, we are the storytellers. Our scientists are the storytellers who gather the information from the real world and the imagined world, and they put the pieces together and they tell a story that makes sense. And that's how science evolves. And then history, we gather the pieces of history together and we tell a story. Man does, through the consciousness of who we are. So who I am is I am you. And yet, what are we? That's kind of the question I've been wondering too. But this kind of brings us into the topic, into the thumbnail today. Again, bless you, my friend Leanne, where I receive the thumbnail and image support. It provides me inspiration. You know, the tools of creation from another help inspire me to come forth with new ideas for you. Here, this is life. May this Sunday, today, may this Sunday be a day of renewed hope and unwavering faith in God's providence. God's providence. I mean, I get renewed hope, unwavering faith. Amen. That is my prayer, my wish for all of us. May you receive some renewed hope, unwavering faith. So I offered, may your day find you with a renewed spirit and an excitement for life. Then I started questioning my vocabulary has been expanding, and my vocabulary has changed as I have started looking at the world in different ways. And when you start looking at the world through some of the religious perspectives, it brings in a lot of different vocabulary, particularly when you get into the Eastern philosophies. The language explains some of the things that maybe our normal vocabulary kind of lacks. But providence is another example. I mean, I had to grab the dictionary with humility and honesty. I had to grab the dictionary quite a few times when I turned to the Bible. And even simple words such as repentance, contrition. I found myself looking things up to try and gain clarity in myself of what things meant. So today, providence. I wanted to look it up. Providence. The protective care of God, of nature, as a spiritual power, right? And the goal is be a day of renewed hope and unwavering faith in God's providence. So providence, God or nature, as providing protective or spiritual care. And it makes sense too, right? In the word, provide. That which provides us. And, example of providence, that the ability to see a good reason for everything that happens. The guardianship and care provided by a deity or a god. And I thought there was something else too. God's providence means that everything happens for a reason, both the big things and the small things, both good and evil. Can you have faith in the order of all things? I mean, I know you can. I know you can have faith in the order of all things because it's within you. The ability is. The awareness may not be there yet. The idea of having faith and trust in all that is. Doggone, I meant to bring up my another short. Anyway, along these lines of trusting and faith in God's providence and the recognition that all things happen for a higher purpose, we may not know the purpose. And if you humble yourself, honestly, you go through life and you see things happen and you may not know why. Sometimes we don't even know why we make choices that we make, but we do. And that's what life is. We actually see life happening. It happens and we're part of it happening. And then the mind explains it. Our logic and reasoning through the memory of our language, it provides the explanation of what has happened or what is happening or what might happen. All of the explanations are within there. But our explanations and our definitions and our preferences, our likes or dislikes, those don't matter. All that matters is that which is real. And that which is real is true, right? And so if we simplify our lives, living in the moment, focused on what is true, right? Because if it's not real, if it's not true, it's just a distraction. It's not relevant. Now, if it is true and if it is real, whatever it might happen to be, well, it's up to us to see the good in it, to find the trust and the appreciation that we learned about whatever it is. A recent example for me is I've had discussions with others. Actually, I'll do a little promotion. For those who know our friend Aaron Sound, who's been up here, he's going to be presenting a topic pretty later today on some pretty sensitive topics about some of the atrocious things that are happening in this world, child abductions, some of the psychological propaganda and warfare that's been conducted. Aaron is presenting something on some of his discoveries pretty soon, and as things get going, I'll try to remember to drop his link. Oh, God bless you, Just Frank. You are sincerely, this is why I love having mods. Thank you so much, Just Frank. Yeah, he's got something coming up. Now, bringing it back to the topic, the reason. There's a lot of darkness in this world, okay? And we are going through this stage. Things are pretty unsettled right now in the bigger picture, as far as the climate, the war drums, the climate of diplomacy between the different nation states. There's a lot of unrest and back and forth. The government's battling with the citizens are battling with the governments, and then there's the Epstein papers, and all of this other stuff is just happening, right? It's real easy. If your path is one that is learning these things, learning the details, it's real easy to get caught up in the darkness, okay? It's hard to see God's providence. It's hard to see the good within the sickness, within the evil, but it's the life we have been given, my brothers and sisters, and each day is a day for us. It's an opportunity for us to come forth, right? Renewed in spirit, renewed in faith. Each day we can come forth with the purpose and the intentions of good deeds. Simple as that. That's why we're here. We're here to offer forth good to the world. Now, it's true, to be able to offer, you must receive. In order to receive, you must make some sort of sacrifices, whether it's your time, your energy, your uh, whatever. In order to grow, we must sacrifice our old ways of being. So in life, there's this complete dynamic system and energy that's happening. And as I'm saying these things, one of the topics I've been discussing with others is it is probably time for a book to be written, because these concepts could be easier absorbed, I think, if they were written out. Um, there's a lot of people presenting stuff like this in different ways. I am finding my way. Oh, let me get to a point. Oh, I love that. I love the combined mind that comes forth with the commentary and the input of others. I love this. Some of the quotes and perspectives. The chief enemy of creativity is good sense. Good sense, man. Our logic and reasoning can talk us back, can talk us out of expansion. We can find logic and reasoning to do all sorts of different things. But I'm getting off track, but let me get to this point. I was going to tell you what to do, but I'm not telling anybody what to do. Live how you want. What I did for myself is I've been practicing. I am learning how to live by my heart, okay? Allowing my heart, my loving thought, my pure good intentions to lead me. And then my mind, the wisdom, my mind creates the limits, and it guides me, navigates me through the information. I used to let my mind, my logic, create my excuses, create my roadblocks, create my fears, I used to live different than I do today, brothers and sisters. Let me just say that. And that is what I'm trying to express to you, is that if you're not satisfied with how you have been living, guess what? There's hope. You don't have to settle. You don't have to accept your old ways. You don't have to accept your old limits. And if there's something your heart is calling you to do, if there's something within you that is causing your unsettledness, which there is, that's why we feel unsettled, is we're denying the growth and the potential of who we are. If you're feeling that unsettled and you're not satisfied with how you have been living your life, I'm here to tell you there's a different way. You can change. You can reinvent yourself. You can renew yourself. You can start to remove the parts of you and the parts of your life that don't serve you. The other day I did an edit, and I'm still trying to figure out how to do more with what is already there. There's a lot of content, I think, shared not just by me, but by many of the guests on this platform. I haven't taken the time to go back and do editing. Let me get to the point. I did a short the other day, a little something I stumbled through regarding time. The absolute of what matters. The past isn't here. It's done. It's complete. There's no undoing it. There's no going back. So, all right, the past is done. The future is not yet here. It's in our mind. So the moment of time, the only time that matters, is what I was offering, is right now. In that clip, I was pointing out we live now. The reminder, right now, is what matters. But then today, I'm thinking this through a little further. Does right now even matter in the greater scope of things? Right now it matters, but in the future, all that matters is what we do. What if, what if, to simplify your life, you made a choice, right? To just start over from right now, focused and determined and really, really committed with the recognition that the only thing that matters is what I do from now on. Because you can make that case. It's a pretty simple and logical case, actually, to make. The only thing that matters in my life is what I do from now on. Can't undo the past. Now, what I suggest, what I've done for myself with the past is I've looked closely at my past, as close in my mind as I can to uncover the details, to really learn from it, to become inspired by it. Oh, I love this, man. The only impossible journey is the one you never begin. Amen. This is what I didn't, the truth is so obvious. It's right in front of our faces. Finding the willingness within to be humble to the truth and to accept the truth and to really wonder, okay, what does this mean to me? If that's true, the only impossible journey is the one you never begin. What is the journey I've never began? What is the one that I've said, oh, they couldn't do it, or these other people said I couldn't do it, so I didn't do it? The only impossible one is the one we never begin. More coverage of me on panel in silent. Do you need more coverage of me on panel? Oh, if anyone wants to join, everyone is welcome. Impossible is not. Impossible is not. I believe that. Everything is impossible until we believe it's not. That could be true as well. Nothing is possible unless we believe it is, unless we accept that it is. That's fascinating. I don't know. I haven't contributed for a while. I don't know. I keep my life, man. My life is what it is. My life is an adventure. It's become quite an interesting game. I realized it was a game, so I started taking the rules more seriously. The rules of this game of life, the life of creation. The rules of it are more simple than we collectively want to think. What I've done for myself is I allowed myself to rewrite my rules, rewrite my ideals of what was right for me. And one of those things, what is right for me, is not to worry so much, not to worry so much about what others think, especially. But that's only a partial truth because I've actually, honestly, I have been growing in my willingness and my ability to care about what others think, even when they think some bizarre things. I do try to understand, but what I've come to realize, the key, I keep saying this, the key to life. Maybe that'll be my book, The Keys to Life. Be a short little collection, very simple, obvious truths that maybe people haven't considered for a while, such as gratitude. Gratitude is the way to be happy. Duh. So, how do you find gratitude in a world that's dark? You find out what you appreciate. How do you know what you appreciate? It's those things that you enjoy. It's those things that you don't want to be without. Now, that attachment, that's another hang up and a headache. It's another thing for us to worry about. But here, simplify your life, recognizing we only live right now. All I have to do is be honest, authentic, and loving. Here's a man who knows how to do those things. Welcome again, Jesse. God bless you, brother.
What's up, brother?
It is great to see you again. You're always either um, sharing service or traveling.
Yeah, I'm traveling from service, and now I got to go make some dog food. So got to do service to the dog. I don't like to buy dog food from the stores. For one, he's kind of on a raw diet, so if I buy it from there, it's very expensive. So I just go to a butcher and grab the meat, grab the offal, make the rice, make the rolled oats and sweet potatoes, do all this kind of stuff. So that way I know exactly what he's eating, which in turn he's going to live a lot longer, healthier, and it's not going to have any vet bills because I know exactly what I'm putting into my dog's body.
Absolutely. And if you've got the resources and the time, it's good to do those things, man.
Yeah, man. So I
Not
got some
everyone
breaking
can.
breaking news for you.
What's that?
So do you obviously know Z, the Satanic Warrior?
Yes, sir.
He's kind of been in a hiatus for a while.
Yep.
He's going to be on the Missing Link this Wednesday at noon Eastern Standard Time.
That's awesome, dude. I'm glad to hear that. I'm a fan of his. Um, I'll try to be there to share support.
I'm not sure if anybody knows. I don't know why, he's gone on his little break or whatever he's done, but I think it's going to be awesome for people to become, just he'll be able to explain to everybody what has been going on with him and why he's taking a break.
Absolutely. I think there's a bunch you want to know. So that is pretty cool, man. Um, yeah, there's a lot of interesting characters I've met on these platforms. He's another one I wanted to have. I actually could see he and I co-creating or collaborating a little bit, at least for a couple of conversations. But from day one, he said he felt odd about me, or I felt off to him. Welcome, Jessus.
Great.
How you doing today, man?
Wonderful. How are you?
Well, welcome. Where I was at earlier in the talked about a number of things, but the idea of Providence. Like I said, it was a word I had to look up, but the belief that we're under the protective care of God or nature as a spiritual power. I've come to really think about that a lot and trust that that is true. Trying to remember, I went to church today and there was an inspiring message and I forgot the topic of it. It had something to do with what we were just talking about. Um, well, how about you guys? You have, I know Jesse seems to have pretty good faith in the unknown and the control. I think he froze up. Justice, what about you, my friend?
Oh, he's back. You, you got anything to say, Jesse, first?
I don't know if you heard me, Jesse. You kind of froze up there.
No, I didn't. I actually just clicked off to I could look at a little kind of quote that I wrote earlier today from some inspiration that I had. So I just went to go look. So, but I didn't hear what you said. Apologize. What was your question?
No, I kind of know your answer, but I was guiding the discussion regarding faith and the idea of providence. The idea that God provides, nature provides, that there is a provider and providence that we can receive.
Everything is in alignment, and source provides, creation provides, for the ones, especially the ones that are in balance with it, right? So, unfortunately, the ones
Rose up again. How about you, Justice?
I definitely see it as we always are in balance at all times, and we just gotta look at what's happening inside our life, and if we don't like it, just have a different thought pattern. Change your thoughts, and once you could change your thoughts on what you're producing, because we do things unconsciously as well too, to the subconscious. So subconsciously, not knowing is happening, we created the reality that happened. So you are aligning subconsciously. So you align all the time. I know we are here, we just gotta align. We always aligning. There's no such thing as we don't align. It's just that we have to align consciously. Is what I think the people are really trying to say. Because there's always an alignment or would not be created inside your life. So now the goal is to be consciously aligning what you choose to have versus subconsciously aligning that you did not realize you have created and consciously realize that's not what you wanted, even though you are aligning, making it happen.
I think what you're saying is that, well, I'm not sure if I follow because I had a disagreement that we're always aligned. I know that people do lose balance from their control, but that's not what you're talking about. You're saying there is an alignment and maybe a perfection to the path and the order. Is that what you're saying?
So if you watch a movie and inside the movie you watch, it had always a person having bad things happen inside their life. And you capture this in your subconscious. So subconsciously, you could play that out in your life. Not consciously, you wanted it to
Right.
happen.
Right.
So it is aligning. So the alignment happens in the subconscious,
Okay.
not in
Yep.
the conscious.
All right. Now I see what
So
you're
the
saying.
conscious is supposed to guard the gates to the subconscious.
The key is to bring awareness.
Correct.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
once you do
absolutely.
that, then you can choose what you want the alignment to be. It always aligning.
Yes. It's a matter of becoming aware that there is an alignment and accepting responsibility for the fact that we
Oh, you
do
got it. You got it.
influence.
Because alignment don't turn on and off. It's not a switch. It
Yeah.
always there.
Yeah. I call that, well, that's in my mind what I see as the perfect structure. There's a structure of all movement, cause and effect with energy. There's a perfect order that brought the past together into this present moment.
Right. And that order is what you consciously filtered in the subconscious. Now, sometimes we are unaware what's being filtered there. That's why we'll say, man, this is not what I wanted. Okay, says you know that's not what you wanted. Now become consciously aware what's happening to make the changes.
Yes. It's again, it comes down to the awareness.
That's correct.
I didn't realize it, but it is very possible for human beings. You can't tell on the outside, but human beings can literally go through their life and they're not there.
Correct.
They're just,
Because they're below conscious. They're
Yes.
living off the subconscious, which is below conscious, allowing outside to filter in.
mhm. Just as what you're describing, that is exactly the life I was living when I was in my disease of alcoholic. It was not just the booze, but the reality was I spent most of the day with, an intoxicated mind, or I was cleansing, healing from the night before. But even without the booze, I was subconscious. I was living in just patterns of habit.
Correct. And that's how you know that you're a subconscious being.
Yeah.
It's always a pattern over and over and over and over again. And once you become aware of the pattern, now you can make some changes.
Absolutely. And that's another simple key to life. If you're in these patterns, better look, right? Is it a conscious pattern or an unconscious pattern? Because if we're in a pattern of life, maybe we're not growing. And we're here to grow. We're here to explore. I like this, man. Good discussion, man. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
So I dropped out. So my own path, I know what I did. Did you ever find yourself doing that, living in a subconscious pattern?
Yeah, I mean, we all in the beginning born that way because from the womb we don't know no better. Life journey itself is to make us conscious of self, and when we get sometimes we have a teacher and say somebody comes along with a higher knowledge, it can speed up the process. Sometimes we just go to trauma and drama, and we had some people have a near-death experience. Some people just have some roughness in their life that happened, that they become aware of the stuff that's happening. They say, wait a minute, I don't like this in my life. Sometimes you go watch somebody else go through something, and you could say, that's not what I want in my life. So there's things to break that pattern that we all go through growing up. Some of us may break it at 10, some may at 12. Depends on the position we're in life.
Yes. There's different, I don't know.
And then sometimes there is a, how to say it, it's like a obsession to know, like a urge inside of you to know there's something else, to know that this is not all what it is. And when I say this is not all what it is, I'm talking about the pattern that you live in, that you could move beyond it. And you start reading certain books, you start listening to certain programs, watching certain things. And when you watch something, then it builds you to something else. Then it takes you to somewhere else. And then you start becoming more conscious of yourself.
Yes, it requires us to become aware, to become willing. And I think this is the time we're living through. There's more people learning about this conscious living versus subconscious living. It's getting better known. There's a lot of people who are just without without realizing it, they've been doing a lot of inner work. They're healing themselves. And that's how this world is going to change. We start healing ourselves, we will help heal others. And as we raise the consciousness, as people start becoming more mindful of their choices and how people are interacting, as we grow, man, this world can, like that. We're going to hit a point. I see it in my mind. I can see it happening. Potentially, I pray any day now, but I think we'll hit a point, a breaking point, where the greater collective consciousness is ready to change, saying the past is done. It's time for different. I, myself, and we together we're going to change. We're growing.
Well, if you think about this, if everyone hit that point, then it wouldn't really be a need for this place anymore.
What do you mean?
Because while you're here, the goal is to expand your consciousness and to keep developing on your journey. If you hit a point that where we all are one awareness, and we come back to that oneness of the infinite creator, then who's expanding as much as they should? Because we all on that same page. Then what is the need of expansion on this earth if we all have it? It's almost like saying everybody's a billionaire. Then who's the workers? It's not going to work.
Okay, but I'm not convinced on the shape of the planet, and I still leave a little possibility that there is an infinite space out there, intergalactic and additional solar systems, that when humanity does ascend when we do raise our consciousness together, I get what you're saying. It would be a world where all of the problems could be solved. And I think that might be when we may be able to explore and discover further.
And then the next thing you got to look at, it can't be no more newborn babies. Because when a child is born, the consciousness is not raised on that child yet. They still got to go through a journey. So for everyone to raise, we have to at least be similar around the same age, or at least conscious of self. So that means we have to get rid of all of the youngs and keep people at least probably around adulthood who has the ability to do that. Because a little child that's born, or 2 or 3 year old, is not in that position. Because every time a new child born, which is every minute, every second of the day, they still have to develop. Now, unless if you're saying there's a percentage of people is doing it, not everybody. If you say, hey, if there's 30%, 40%, or whatever the percentage is, it's going to create this utopia, then that's different. But if it's everybody, a child always is being born, and they need to go to that journey as well of pardons.
Okay.
But if that child going to that journey of pardon, that means they are not raised with the rest of the people. So that means you cannot go to the utopia unless you get rid of all of them and just keep the ones that is raised to that consciousness that you're talking about. Or we only need 30% or 40% or maybe 15% of the people to do it.
That's what I'm suggesting.
Also, so it's like how much percent you think?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I know that the power of God, well, if you bring in some of the concepts and ideas of Scripture, it makes sense where 2 or more are gathered, right? When men and women come together with the faithfulness of God, with pure heart, giving honest, pure intentions, man, God's power is amazing. And when humans come together, we solve problems. When we come together for a purpose, we can solve problems. When we come together and we don't have a purpose, guess what? We got all sorts of entertainment, distraction, drugs, gambling.
Well, normally when they say two or more come together, what if they're talking about when the conscious and the subconscious work as one? Then anything is possible versus actual people. Because that's two different beings that you work with. You work with your conscious and your subconscious on a daily basis. There's times you forget something consciously, but subconsciously you get reminded because you put that information there. So that
Okay.
could be the, huh?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm not sure
So
where you're going with this.
every human being have at least a duality.
Yeah.
You have the conscious and the subconscious, right? You have the
And the
now.
superconscious.
Well, we don't use that on a daily basis.
Well, we may not be aware of it, but the superconscious is there.
Yeah, but I'm speaking something that's on a daily basis. Like we always use the conscious and the subconscious. What I mean is the subconscious would be like the memory, which is the midbrain. They call it the limbic system. And the conscious would be the neocortex, which is the upper brain. So we definitely use those all the time. Superconscious, you're talking about that's the reptilian brain. So, but we definitely utilize the memory and the now present we're in, watching around consciously. So there's things that we supposed to do consciously, and we'll forget to do it. Then our memory will serve us right and remind us, which will be the subconscious, and remind us to do something. So these two are working together. I get what you're saying with the third one. Yes, I totally agree. There's a superconscious, which is the third one. But on a daily basis, we utilize those two. Superconscious to me is more like when you get in meditation and deep thoughts, trying to tap in more than what you are in that moment. But we definitely use the conscious and the subconscious, which is two different things. So when two come together as one, anything is possible. So when you consciously want to do something and filter it to your subconscious, like say you want to be a lawyer, then you could be able to tell your subconscious, this is what I envision, this is what I see. Then subconsciously you're going to work on becoming that.
That's it. And this is what's not taught in schools. This is what's not taught in churches. But it is the truth. The the instructions are there, not in the schools, but in the churches. The instructions are there. A double-minded man is unstable in all ways.
Correct. That's correct. And that's where the two work together. So your subconscious and your conscious are working as one versus working against each other. That's called a double-minded mind.
Yeah, that's the whole. I believe the descriptions, I think it is accurate. What we are as humans, we are the universe becoming conscious of itself. We are consciousness becoming aware. We are awareness becoming conscious. But here, someone pointed out we're not really defining conscious and superconscious.
Okay, so when you say conscious, which dealing with the now, you're looking at the neocortex. That's dealing with the logical and the rational brain. Some call that the higher self as well too. Then you got the subconscious that dealing with the limbic system. That's the midbrain that deals with the memory. The hippocampus is a central part to memory. That's where patterns are created. So consciously, you could create whatever pattern you want to become in your life physically. That's when you manifest things. When you say superconscious, now you're looking at the reptilian brain, or they call it the brain stem. That's the part that you could go, some go to sleep, some meditate, you go to that point. Somehow what they call a lucid dream. Some also take certain substances to get there. It all depends on what you want to do.
And so what do you suggest, since we have this knowledge, what do you suggest we do?
The only person you could help is yourself. And when you first help yourself, then you spread it amongst the ones that are close to you and keep going further. There's some who ain't going to listen. There's some who are. I mean, you cannot make a person get there or make a person understand, but the only person that you could really truly help is yourself. That's that you're only here to experience your life.
Well, true. One of the things I've learned, though, is the best way to help myself is to help others. So, do you use this to try and help others?
So when you say help others, let's say there's someone who don't want to hear it. How you go about doing that?
That's not the question. So you've not found any others who want to hear?
Well, that's why I say there's some who will want to learn. And I said there's some who will not want to learn.
Yeah, that's what I've been finding the most of is people who think they know it all already, and they continually tell me. And yet, no offense, but I see people thinking small. These same people who tell me they understand better than me are thinking small. They're seeing this experience as only, I don't know. They're not seeing themselves as part of the whole. And that's what I see is there is one experience happening all around the world right now. And so if we understand these things, that it is many people are living in subconscious patterns, which the evidence is quite clear. Even the people on the media, the people in government, they're clearly out of their minds, or they're trapped in their minds, not thinking.
Well, most people put on a ideology or a thought pattern, and they choose to stay there. And sometimes you'll hear people say, "This is just who I am."
Right.
That's one of the most dangerous words you could tell yourself.
I agree.
Because when you were 5 years old, did you say just who I am? When you were 10 years old, did you say to yourself, "This is just who I am"? When you were 12 years old, you didn't see these words never were said. You keep expanding your consciousness. So why, when you hit maybe in your 30s or 40s or 50s, all of a sudden, this is just who I am? There's never a chance or opportunity you have when it's just, this is just who I am. It just did not exist. These are only state of consciousness. And you move from one state to another. You yourself is formless, thoughtless. You're just a void. And that void takes on multiple states. So based on what state that person in, sometimes you got to reach them in the subconscious. Sometimes you got to reach them in the reptilian brain, which is called the unconscious, meaning they are more, sometimes they be in survival mode. So based on what mood they're in, you got to reach them there. And sometimes some people be in something called compound ignorance. And that's one of the most hardest mood to reach a person in the compound ignorance state. You got to be a whole lot more rational with them to see how to take them out of that state. So this is just who I am. It's the most deadliest words people could put together and use on themselves.
I agree. Well, this is, I mean, what you're offering, it's kind of in the bigger picture, what I'm trying to offer, suggest to us. It's just me, or this is who I am. These are excuses. these excuses and the blame that are so common in our world today. The excuses and the blame, well, that's why we've got Joe Biden as president, and that's why the current world is the way that it is. We can overcome our excuses and our blame, with faith. The best way to have faith that we can overcome our excuses and our blame is to know why we should. I don't think people understand the importance of the truth. The world we're living in is spiritually corrupted. Okay?
What are you
And
skinning?
what's that?
Jesse, what are you skinning?
Oh.
Sweet potatoes for the dog food.
His dog's food is a meal, man. That would be spoiled.
It's the sort of response I wouldn't expect out of very many people, but Jesse is one of the people I'd expect that response from.
Right?
Hawk eats better than most people on Earth. I assure you on that.
Yes. He Jesse shared the contents earlier, and he shared how he makes it before. I can't remember.
Mic check. Is this better? I
Little.
heard him hot.
It was. It's all right. Hey, okay, so the idea of providence, that there is an order that is good, and that good order of life has brought us to where we are. And all I suggest is the only thing that matters is what we do from now on.
It's the here and the now.
Absolutely. And it passes by so quickly. I mean, next thing you know, time is done. People are gone. You know, that last breath can come anytime for all of us. We really don't know. So, I don't know. I see a future of the world, and I keep talking about it because I know it's planting seeds of thought, even if they're initially just rejected. But I do see a world in the future where people have changed, where they are more conscious, more aware, not only of themselves, who they are, but they're more conscious and aware of others and how their actions have an effect on others. We
You
lose
are
sight.
seeing that world, Jack.
Yes and no.
Every day, a little bit better. We look to what we want. The optimism is what we're looking at. The world is getting to what we're looking for.
In places it is.
Maybe
Not
slow.
around me. Yeah. I know. It's all changing. And I've been anxious. I have been very unsettled. I used to really get myself fired up and worked up over the state of the world and the state of my life, what was happening around me, because I'm still seeing all around me, people not paying attention to what's going on, particularly in my town. You know, I go to never mind. I'm not going to complain.
Come on. I was curious where that was going.
It's a small thing, very small thing, but go to church and to hear "Go Seahawks," I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Anyway, I don't know what the future's going to. None of us know what the future's going to bring. Yet, so many of us have such arrogance. And I think, this idea. Where'd it go? The idea of renewed hope. Renewed hope, unwavering faith in God's providence, in the fact that there is an order that provides us with everything we need. Every one of us. If that wasn't true, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have made it this far. I mean, the fact that we live is evidence that we've always had everything we needed. But this world convinces us to think we need different things. I think the only thing we really do need is faith. Faith and hope. Those come from within, but really, it's hard to have those when you don't have others on the outside. If you don't feel like you have a connection with others, you can feel hopeless and you can feel without faith. The world can be dark, man, and it proves to us it does not care. I was thinking about that earlier today, admittedly, how blessed I am, and I'm sitting there. I don't remember. My cat, I think, reminded me. Nature does not care. Nature is violent. Nature will destroy. And it can be so cruel sometimes. But this is where I think humans, where people can bring balance. Because the objective reality we live in, it doesn't have much compassion. But people do, and people can. And when we have compassion, when we unite together with care, camaraderie, brotherly, sisterly, united together, I know we're going to change this world. Or at least, my hope is at least, at the very least, I won't spend the rest of my life just talking. I hope that I'll raise to some point and so I'll get taken out if I can't succeed. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Tell you what, we don't have to stay all serious. Free-flowing topics. Anything you like. Thank you, Balls Unshaved. Bless you. Go Seahawks.
What about we talk about scripture?
Which part?
The part that people, believe or are manifesting revelation. The part that how destruction needs to happen, that we are powerless. We can't change the course of history. It was, prophesized that, Satan has to take, or the devil has to take control and destroy everything. And, that's God's word that happened. And I think about that. And is that what God would really want? Like, because, they say, well, you can't change it. Is that what God would want us all to do is my question.
Sounds like Satan's gaslighting.
That's what I think. Or it is a prophecy. I've heard this said too. Well, where I was brought up earlier on Paul's channel, there was another guy talking about his vision, his dream. And in the scripture, it talks about at the end times of men and boys, there will be dreams and visions. I think these visions, and actually, Aaron would know this stuff, actually. I saw Aaron in the chat. He's been looking into some of the some of the mind control stuff. Damn, why did I bring that up?
Because you were talking about religion, which literally is, which the etymology means to, what is it? To bind back. Yeah. So
Yes. Here, what I was thinking is some of the government operations looking into the remote viewing. Some of the theories is that they can see probabilities of the future, and so the probabilities are not definite. I mean, because every moment brings free will, and free will brings the opportunity for change. I think those revelations are warnings. Should the world not wake up or whatever, it's very possible all of this is going to happen. And the signs are there. The signs are there of oppression and all the wars and stuff. I think
they've always been there. There's never not been these things.
You're right.
And if I remember correctly, Jesus said to one of his apostles that he would return in his lifetime. So I mean, like, the Bible's just really not great at the predictions, the prophecies. It's just playing the gray area of ambiguous phrasing. Don't come up here and see nemesis. I'm just kidding.
But it's not just that. They're using it as a playbook, and they're using it as a way to keep people in controlled and say that you can do fuck all about, Satan taking over the world. And the people that are saying, well, it has to happen, the mark of the beast has to happen, and people that are in line with that, they're actually making it happen.
This is just it. And
it's all God, though.
If people understood the truth, right? The true message of unity and love that was being taught. I've been saying this. If the followers of Christ, if they truly put actions behind their words, became brothers and sisters, children of God, if we joined together, we would bring peace to the world. But many brothers and sisters of Christ are simply trying to get people to join the church that they like.
Right. So if you look at that, what I just put up, that verifies the role, right? Say, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So he is all of that. He is Satan. He is God. He is whatever it is. Whatever role you see out there, God is us as well too. He plays all of the roles.
Yes.
There's no role. There's nothing before the creator. Everything is within the mind of the creator. So the creator is every role that being played.
Exactly.
But God didn't write that, though.
Well,
say it again.
God didn't write that, though.
Yeah, but
that was a bunch of people that interpreted what they thought God was, and the people that interpreted are the ones who have been controlling this dimension. And people say, "Oh, this is Satan's world." So Satan and his minions are the ones who wrote that to keep people controlled and looking that they're going to lead us to a dark path where they want a full control. And people keep getting twisted and say, "Oh, that's God's word." It's not. It's Satan's word.
Jesse. Don't please. Okay, I appreciate your passion, but does it change? Do you believe these words are untrue?
I can't see anything. Am I the only one who can't see anything there?
Might be.
I can see. I mean,
yeah. Do you believe?
Hey, I wasn't going to come up. I was in the back chat, but something that Jess said is like, Satan is not God, and God is not Satan. It does not say that in the Bible.
It's right there.
Well, okay. So both of you, do you disagree with this scripture? Do you think this is not true?
Well, why even worry? Like, does this person even believe in the Bible, or is he a Bible denier? So if you're a Bible denier, then why talk about the Bible?
Because it's quite impactful on the world, don't you think?
Yes. The Bible is.
Why do you think that is? Do you think that any secular text could ever become that popular? No.
Fuck yeah. Are you kidding? Have you looked around? Have you looked at the Quran? Have you looked at the Constitution? Like,
Harry Potter is close to the Bible, but not. That's about it in sales and distribution. Sales distribution.
They don't put Harry Potter in hotels. If they did, it would way surpass it.
How about this? There is a spiritual purpose for the book, and I don't believe that this is all evil. I mean, I believe this scripture is actually true. There's more than just this one verse that brings out the God, the creator, is one. There is all that is that we could ever experience comes from the same one source, the
That's
God.
correct.
Yes. So I believe the light and the darkness are from God. Peace and evil, they come from God. But we are the ones that get to choose.
That's
And
correct.
and if light and darkness are available, if peace and evil are available, each of us get to choose.
That's correct. The creator is not biased.
That's what I've realized. The other side of that, though, is
All right, but Jack, like creating something like in the absence of yourself, like because I didn't eat the banana's there, or because I did eat it, it's no longer there. It's a product of what the creator is. It is the destruction of the creation is what part of that it is. So to say it's not hard to understand. It's just you have to look at it with the discernment. And by that I mean the discernment is you have to look at God. God is good. God is love. God is not anything bad. If you don't look at it through that lens, you're going to be all kinds of confused. You need to know who God is first before you can read his text.
well,
You need to know who God is before you can read his text.
yeah, that doesn't make
Yes.
sense.
So how do you get to know who God is?
Right.
From people that
We
know him. How do you get to know, like, if you knew Jack in real life, like, if you had a question about Jack, are you going to ask random people or are you going to ask his close personal friends?
I'm going to figure it out for
Well,
myself, but
Now, come on, use logic.
no, but see, I can talk to Jack though,
right.
I know
If you
for
wanted to
sure.
do a documentary, if you wanted to write down his life, you would ask people who knew him about his character. Same with the disciples. People asked who knew him.
Well,
God, Jesus.
here, yes, but you were making the claim that you need to know God to read the words. But here, that's a side. We learn through life, and we can learn through experience. We learn through others, and through others comes written words. Um, what I was trying to get at earlier, though, is the meanings, the true meanings of what Jesus taught: to love one another, to love God, and to recognize that there's a divine order to all that is, so we can love all that is. And that includes ourselves. That includes each other. Because that's the other part of this too, is the realization. Okay, if God is omnipresent, he's omniscient. If God is within and through everything, well, that includes me and you. And so what separates us from God is our beliefs, because we either don't know or we reject. But either way, our imagined beliefs and our imagined separations from God or from the good or from the truth or from each other,
But
we're,
Jack, if you're a
we're all
pronounced atheist, if you go on social media and say, I'm an atheist, and you do Bible studies on atheism, do you think that that atheist is going to make up, do you think he's going to make narratives about the existence of God or why the Bible's wrong? So he's already coming at it through one lens or the other.
See, this is just such circular reasoning.
Yeah.
Atheists, in my experience, know the Bible way better than Christians, like massively better. Unfortunately, atheists also tend to actually worship the state, so it's this weird replacement that's worse. I think atheism is my least favorite religion.
Welcome to reality flow state. You're going to worship something, even subliminally. And you're like, no, I don't worship nothing. Yes, you do. It's just a choice.
Hey,
You're going to worship something.
That's fine. I'm fine with that, but
What
it
do
is
you
a choice.
worship? What do you worship? What's the most important thing in your life?
I was just being intellectually generous and saying, sure, we all worship something. I don't know what it is. I don't have that identified yet.
You don't know. You don't know what's most important. Wait, let me question him. He's
why? You?
I don't mind, but I don't care either way.
Because he's on his phone, not paying attention, Jack. He don't care.
Come on.
Answer the question. Do I need to repeat it?
Yes.
Because you weren't paying attention.
Well,
no, because
the question is
you need to rephrase it because I just told you.
Pay attention to what people
Okay,
say.
let me
not,
back
just
up then. Let's back up to where you said everybody worships something. Do that again. Say that again.
What is the most important thing in your life?
No, say everybody worships something again.
Yourself. So yourself is.
I didn't answer that. We're going back to where you say everybody worships something, and I'm going to tell you, no, the fuck they don't.
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Whatever's the most important thing in their life is what they worship.
Well, then that would be family.
Then you worship your family. You put your family above God.
Okay.
What happens if someone takes that family away?
Wait, hold up. The family
my
is
family
God.
was taken away. That's obviously not the correct answer. My family was taken away.
Well.
So that's obviously not the most important thing in life. Family is great, but it's not. It's a gift from God, but it's not most important. So what's most important?
The most important things can be taken away from you. Your life can be taken away from you. And
just be honest. The most important thing in your life is money. You're God. You worship money.
If the most important thing were money, I never would have quit being a banker.
Well, you shouldn't handle the mental stress of it.
I could handle the mental stress of it.
You're just like you wanted an easier life.
You're just making accusations. You have no idea. You have no idea. You're just talking out of your ass.
I just get tired of talking to these low vibration individuals who don't pay attention.
Well,
MC Nemesis. Think about that. The adversary.
No, you're the adversary. I'm agreeing with Jack. So he left. I am trying to help him. Like, you tell me what you like. I listen to you, Jack. He's on his phone, not paying attention. He's in another world. Why suffer someone who doesn't care? And when you press him about what's most important, is God most important?
Look at our names, Nemesis.
Right.
Read into that a little bit.
Yes. You're a little uptight, Nemesis, and you seem to be starting a fight where I don't find it
typical for somebody who's
I understand what you're saying though too, because Flo, you have been resistant to some of the things I've suggested, and yet, you know, I just don't think we've understood each other right yet. The idea of worship. Does everyone worship something? I've started wondering, what is worship? What does it mean to worship? It would be that which does receive our time, attention, our dedication, our devotion. For me, that used to be my job. And it used to be my belief of the reputation, right? As a union guy. Those were the things I worshiped. I really didn't care about myself, and I didn't really care about happiness, and I didn't really care about the suffering that other people I didn't know had. But I don't know. I'd almost disagree that everybody worships something. There's specific things that do receive their time, energy, and attention, but you know, even if you say God should be what we worship, what does that mean? Right? There's
the etymology. I just looked up worship, and it's derived from worth and ship, which is like the quality of. So worship means it has the quality of it's value. It's got value basically. So we all
Worthy.
worship lots of things. Jesse's worshiping those potatoes right there.
No, he's not. Look. I'm
Not
not trying to
worshiping
come
them,
at
but
you.
these are now apples.
I'm not
Okay,
trying to
yeah.
come at you through a harsh perspective. I'm just, people's criticized me on the panel, so I said, that's a good way. Like that's how the community wants to communicate is by criticizing each other. But that doesn't have to be. It just sees the patterns that I see of the community. They love to criticize each other, so I just play a little bit into it too. And I think I think that we should discover a better means of communication.
So
I'm
I,
just
I think
I'm
everyone.
just trying to like conform. Like if I was conforming to the community and the people around me, I would just keep criticizing. But I think we should change that, and I think Jack has an answer to help us communicate better.
So everybody worship a state of mind. Which I mean, Jack, you actually was worshiping yourself because that state of mind is what you was all about at the time.
Okay. Well, what I worship now is God. And so I define God as that which is real. And that which is real can be revealed in many different ways, not just from books, but through others and through the real experience of my life.
And how do we know
Where's the
what's real?
location? Where's the location of this God?
No.
Everywhere.
Don't focus on that, Jack. Did you know how you know what's real and what's not? What's real cannot be destroyed. If you build it, you cannot destroy it. You might kill a person, you might do this, but
Or
what
that
is
means God
real
is water
cannot
then.
be destroyed. That's
That
how
means
you
God is
know if
water
it's
and
real.
energy.
And Jack, I wasn't going to interject, but that's the perfect segue. Like Jesus, like you're trying to derail it by going, "What is God?" Vague concepts. Jack's trying to tell you who God is. He's trying to tell you the characteristics of God. I'm a
That-
Christian. This is the gratitude of Christ that we try to bring to people. But Jack
Did
is
you
doing it
born
in
a
a more
Christian?
secular way.
Did you born a Christian?
No, but I was saved at the
Okay,
age of
so
13.
if you ain't born a Christian, that means you took on a state of mind.
No,
Yeah. Whoa,
He's
whoa.
gotcha.
the
You
children
did
don't
take
have
on a state of
discernment.
mind. What did you born? Okay, did your mind born that way? Did you
The
born with that
children
state of
don't
mind?
have discernment. Now, I want
Okay,
to give it
so
back to Jack. No. I don't want to derail it. I want to
you
give it
didn't
back
Hold
to
on.
Jack.
He's on
No.
something.
What's he?
you
He's not
didn't
saying anything.
born, hold on, since you did not
He just
born
wants to
and
ask me
grow
question after question.
and
You need
grow
to
up,
stay on
No,
topic. The topic
let him
say,
is
fucking talk, you douche.
no, dude, because he's off topic.
say
No,
It's
he's
this
not.
is
it's
the
You
not
don't
off
yes it
set the
is.
Hey,
topic. No,
topics.
it's not.
just
It's not
allow
off
the
topic.
conversation to flow, please. I mean,
Since you didn't born a Christian, or even was as a young child as a Christian, and you had to take on a construct that was given to you to produce a state of mind to be a Christian, that means you are indoctrinated with something. That's not who you are naturally.
Indoctrination, yes. But okay, yes, I'm more likely to okay, so your faith has not come from the state. It don't come from an institution. It comes
I
from
didn't
within.
say state. I say state of
right.
mind.
I'm saying the state, like it doesn't come from an organization. Okay, when you're a kid, you are influenced by these organizations. You understand?
Here.
You
That
don't have a
that
state of
means
mind. I'm trying to say that you don't have a state of mind. Like, what's he
Well,
talking
that
about?
means you
here. What?
that mean
Let
you
me
could
let
be
me try
influenced by
and
other things.
Justice. Let me try and interpret. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but um, what he's offering is we're not born with these religions. We're not born with these nationalities, with these diagnoses. We pick those up as we go through life, and the name conservative Christian or even Christian was the topic right there. It is a system of beliefs. Okay. But that system of beliefs is not who we are. It's who we are is the awareness of. You're the awareness of the being who has learned of Christian beliefs because it came from the world, but you're the being who learned of it.
That's correct. And that's why I say you should never say, this is who I am. That's deadly.
Well, I get your point, yes, but what I've been trying to break myself of the habit, I've been trying to break myself of telling others what to do, to experience greater freedom, to allow ourselves to grow sincerely. Let go some of those titles and definitions and allow yourself to discover who you are. Our belief systems are great. They help guide us through the moral transactions of life.
I totally agree with that, Jack. It's just that when you make it a glue on your mind forever is when you can't grow. So if you choose to be a Muslim one day, a Christian, a Hindu, a Buddhist, I'm okay with that. But no, that's not who you are. That's just a title that you choose to put on yourself in that moment. It's like hovering the ocean and we see a wave come up. That wave is not separate. The wave is the ocean. So these Christian Buddha stuff, they just like a wave coming up and going back into the ocean and just going back flat to where it came from. So we gotta realize that these titles that we have is just for that moment if we choose to grow. Now there's some who choose not to grow. So they would just say, I'm a Buddhist forever. I'm a Hindu forever. And then you know what? So be it. Some people just gotta die that way. That's why the scripture also say, let the dead bury the dead.
Hmm. Well, the dead are those who are living subconsciously. The dead are those who have faith in the world more than the life we've been given. This question, is there a process for discarding the notions we've picked up about ourselves along the way? Yes, there's actually many different paths, many different modalities and tricks I've learned from others. The whole goal, though, just simply by having the awareness that we can change, we can reinvent, we can redefine ourselves. For me, I kind of explain it quite often, allowing the past to be done inside ourselves, mentally, just physically, allowing the past to be complete and to be present in the moment, focused on the only thing that matters is what I do from now on. And then try each day. Actually, Jess's brought this up earlier too. A way of seeing if you're living a habit is to look at the life you're living. And if there's not a lot of change, maybe it's time to grow. Maybe it's time to expand the comfort zone. Maybe it's time to try a different direction. And the reason I suggest that is, have you seen the state of the world? I mean, the world is the future we're heading to.
Tell me about the state of the world, but only the world that you've experienced, not what you've read about.
The world I have experienced but not read about. It's actually the world I live in is, dude, I am so blessed. I live in a beautiful, safe neighborhood. The city, while it has its ups and downs, it's a safe community, beautiful people around. But the other side of that is the people I have tried to interact with. Many of them are very afraid. Many of them are very angry. And part of that is their own individual life, but then it comes back to the greater picture. I respect what you're doing, though, Flo, with that question. Most people, I think, realize, I think many of us have it a lot better off than we think. And we think we've got it bad because we do have our real life problems. But then we hear and we see all the atrociousness in the
We
world.
dwell in the stories that were told from the TV.
Yes,
They may or may not be real problems, but they don't need to impact us and determine our worldview.
brother, that is so true. And I didn't realize that before. I mean, in my past lives here on earth, earlier in this lifetime, I thought I was wise for paying attention to the politics, being a well-informed citizen, paying attention to the world news and what was happening. I would think about the crap constantly. I was constantly thinking about the problems of the world, and that's partially why I lived in such a state of depression. I got caught up in the systems of the world.
Well, Jack, I can tell you the reason that I'm a part of it and that I keep up with it on X and other faculties. The reason I keep up with it is because I am taking a journalistic approach to it. I'm not putting my heart into it. My heart is separate from this crap. I could care less. I mean, yes, it's a bad thing when people die, 1,400 babies, whatever, overseas. I mean, honestly, I only have so much empathy, and it's like a tank. It's been proven, like, I don't know about scientifically, but they've done studies to show that you can only put up with so much. It's just like you have a reservoir, of emotions, and you can become emotionally drained. So I just go and I see something, and I take it to heart so I can respond to it, but then I let it go. So I take it to heart, and I let it go. That way I can respond to it without letting it affect me in real life. And by doing that, I'm able to get people to pay attention to what I'm saying because it is the truth. As long as you're saying the truthful things, people will want to know what you have to say about the truth. That's why I call myself an observer. If I'm out here giving an opinion, that's one thing. But just observing the facts based on the evidence presented is what a court does. That's the way I do things in my mind.
It's good to know what's going on.
So based on what I've observed, I've been to the fifth dimension. I was in the hospital acting up. They shot me full of ketamine. I did not pass out. I was in a world of black and white shapes, the fifth dimension. The black was in the white. I was alive but dead at the same time. I've been there. That's the sixth dimension was creating the fifth dimension, and I got to experience it, but I was not able to create anything.
Did you ever come out of it?
Creates the light. The darkness. In the beginning, there was darkness, and the Lord said, "Let there be light." The Lord is the light. The Lord created the light, but in the darkness, He created it. You understand?
Nope.
Oh, I'm just telling you what I've observed.
Wait, hold on. Which book you read that from?
No book. This is what they shot me with ketamine, and I saw this. I experienced it. I couldn't hear, see, or anything. I experienced
Isn't ketamine an animal tranquilizer?
I don't know what it is, brothers, but
who shot you with ketamine? That's what I want to know. This story sounds sus.
I've heard
who shot me with ketamine.
Studies.
I checked myself into the mental. I checked myself into the mental asylum.
He talking about aliens.
I checked myself in the mental asylum.
Ketamine was given above board.
No. People on the internet said I needed help, so I went and got the help that they on the secular world. And
I just I didn't know they gave ketamine to human patients. I thought it was
so ketamine is called Special K, and they use it as a party drug, but also it was a horse tranquilizer. But they're also now experimenting with it with people with depression, with people with anxiety. They're using that that drug. They actually even suggested Angeline get onto it for this synthetic thing. And I remember the last time that I did it, I had a vial that someone had given me on the dance floor, and I just actually ate it. I ate the whole vial, and all I know is it was a wild dance, but I went into a K-hole, and I remember Well, I thought I was in a limo with a bunch of girls, and then when I came out of the K-hole, I was in a car with a bunch of my guy friends, and they said as soon as they asked me where my address was, that's when I went into the K-hole. So I ended up dropping everybody off, but that's one crazy, crazy, crazy drug.
Right. The point is that I wanted to see whether I was crazy or not. So I was judged by 7 people in the for 3 days. I was judged by 7 people, and they determined. I told them my story about YouTube and the trolls and about what was going on, people doxing me and stuff like this, right? And the story, they told me that I was not crazy. I was suffering with anxiety and depression, and I was treated ever since. My
And they told
drugs
you to
are
go
known
back
as
on YouTube.
my drugs are life-saving medication. I get them for free and that's what the taxpayers pay for, and I appreciate the taxpayers because it is the drugs that help me. And the reason it helps me is because I don't know why. It just makes me calmer. So I'm here to tell you that there is a
I'm glad
fifth
it
dimension.
helps you.
Yes. And there is a God, because if there wasn't a God, I would just kill people and take their resources. I mean, that would be the point in life, just to kill and take their resources like warmongers do. And you can say,
Oh,
no,
so
you can
that's
have
why he
this.
believed in God, because he went to the psycho war and they shot him, and he figured that
No,
he's
that was
better now.
earlier. That was less than a year ago. I became a Christian at the age of 13.
So why you had to mention there's a God, like something traumatic happened in your life? Like why you just didn't, say at 13 there's a God and then this happens?
Because I was having trouble dealing with the fact that my family had essentially. See, my brother was a Satanist, and my dad made up constant lies and was a drug addict. And so we never got along. So what I'm trying to say is that the witness from me, this is how Christian, like from the witness, from what I've experienced, I can tell you. Now, I'm not asking you to believe me. I'm just telling you the truth is a troll. I was told by a wise man here on YouTube who's not actually wise. He just said one wise thing: a broken clock's twice right. A broken clock is right twice a day. But anyways, he said something that made sense. He mentioned the hate-filled F word, FAG word, and the hate-filled fag is Satan. That's what he was saying. That's one truth. That's one. And the second truth was that the truth is a troll. Whenever I tell people the truth, and I've told people, they think I'm trolling.
I
They
like
think I'm
that.
making up lies.
The truth is a troll. I like that.
And the
I
hate-filled
mean,
fag.
that's your personal truth. I
Don't
mean,
call
nothing wrong
Paul
with your
that.
personal truth. Well,
Well,
that's
that's
his
what
personal
Satan is,
truth.
kind of.
Justice, what is it you're bringing up? What is your point?
Oh, my point is that he don't have to worry about what people say. That's his thing that he experienced. That's his personal truth.
That's what he offered.
Listen, in
Right.
AA meetings, you don't commentate on people's story. I tell my story, you tell yours. You don't, well, blah, 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 blah. You don't ask questions. You share what you want to. You don't, like,
Yep.
what do you think about, like, not what you, like, do you have a similar experience or
We're not there
Justice?
though. I hated
I
it.
don't.
Well, and
This is not.
well,
Hold on. This is not an AA meeting. This is not a little fucking
exactly.
church group comparing stories. I mean,
I got my big
I
book.
guess it is. I guess that is what it is, isn't it? I don't know. This is not what I thought it could be.
Well, drive this ship, motherfucker.
What do you want it to be, Jack?
Well, worthwhile, productive, actually bringing forth some practical uses for the knowledge. I mean, this is what I was asking earlier. If we've learned this and the world is the way that it is, and we've learned the world is the way that it is, what should we do? I mean, informing others of problems is one thing. I'm really There's so many solutions. There's so many possibilities, but where are you? I don't. Some days I just don't understand what people are doing. Am I the only one? No, I'm not the only one. I believe there's opportunities to change this world. Am I alone in that here?
Nope.
What are the solution, MC, like to change the world?
Well, thank you. This is what I've offered many different ways. We rid the world of secrets and lies, individually and collectively.
It seems like you're going about it from macro to micro, which seems backwards to me.
It does, but I'm trying to start with the micro. I haven't found the audience yet that really wants to understand what I'm suggesting, or, I mean, most people think they already know. Yeah, Jack, I already know. I heard that in kindergarten. Oh, okay. So are you living the life of your dreams? Are you taking actions every day to live the future that you've imagined? Because if we stop allowing ourselves excuses and lies, I mean, those are what hold us back. This is the stuff, I don't know. You know what? The market is, the world today, with the abundance of communication and information, we've got a flood of information that's available. What I'm offering, I guess the market is saturated. Everyone already knows everything about health and spirituality and shadow work. But I don't
Jack,
know.
everybody does that's here like what you're offering, otherwise they wouldn't be here. I think
I know.
this has been growing, and like sometimes you're a little more hard on yourself than you should be, because you are attracting a lot of people. And even I was on a stream earlier today, as someone said, I have no idea why so many people are enamored with Jack, but for some reason you have this energy, and some reason whatever's been instilled in you and the knowledge that's been instilled, that people are really benefiting from it. So don't be hard on yourself that it's not flowing as what this way that maybe you would like sometimes, but you are you're like a good rock for a lot of people.
Thank you, Jesse.
I agree
Look,
with
Crack rock.
Jack want life to be like La Vida Loca. That's what we're gonna aim for.
Well, I'd love for more people to, well, I don't know. I have a lot of dreams and hopes. Admittedly, thank you, Jesse, and you guys. I do know there's a community here. There's a lot of people who care, and I think people are receiving some sort of whatever distraction, entertainment, hopefully some encouragement from here. My life hasn't changed in several years, and I don't know what to do to get things to change, but
well, news travels, Jack, and I mean, if you're presenting good news, then people will share it if they
wait,
have a heart
no.
to.
Hey, I love you,
Have you-
but the world shows that's not true. People share
That's true.
fear.
So Jack, you gotta say something crazy every show. Then maybe you travel.
That's what I do. I introduce Jack. What I like to do is I like to introduce the agent of chaos, and then once I draw in the crowd, I switch it up on them, and that's what I do to gain an audience. Like I will come up with these characters to entice the audience because they're short attention spans. I try to get down to their level, and I have to go very, very I have to damn near jump 200 feet down to go on their level, subatomic levels. This is Mount Everest that I'm on, and you're, and you know what I'm saying? Like people trying to step up to Mount Everest, they don't understand me. I have to go
Are
down
you
off the
trying to
mountain
get
and
made
explain it
fun
to
of,
people.
man?
What are you talking about?
God damn.
You don't believe that
Wait a
there's
minute.
levels of awareness? You don't
I don't
believe that
think you know where you're at.
Jordan Peterson has the ability to concentrate for 3 or 4 hours. We've discussed this.
Fucking amazing.
You
Yeah,
understand?
but he's not here.
Now, what's happening with TikTok? 1-minute videos, YouTube shorts. You don't think the attention span's going down? You think they're on Mount Everest with me watching hour-long
Wait a
documentaries?
minute here.
2 hour long?
You think
No.
you're on Mount Everest
Wait,
because you watch an hour-long documentary? Are you crazy? That
No,
is
it's
such a
because of the
low
way I think.
standard.
I'm receptive to information.
I'm taking a
Who do you
pause.
think pulled me up?
wait,
Who do you think has the
Jess.
rope? Jack. Like people like Jack pull me up, and you're doubting the ability of Jack that he pulled me up on Mount Everest. That's what you're doubting it.
Jess. Is this a cooking show? I mean, are we supposed to learn a lesson or this guy
I
he
don't
cutting up
know. You under
everything?
like Jack? Like I'm not trying to put people down, but we talked about attention span. We don't need to deny that.
Yeah, this is the world
Some
we live
people, and Jack, the attention span's
in.
gone
Well,
down. That's why you don't have a bigger audience. You got a bunch of these
I
Gen
know.
Z
I
rejects
know.
that only watch minute-long videos about crazy stuff. Like if Ross Jesse was a Gen Z, he would be he would be wasting food. You know what they do? They waste food. Now look, Jesse's not wasting
Nemesis.
that.
Okay, I'm sorry. I misunderstood where you're going. I got you. You're right. He's not wasting. Um,
But Gen Z does for money.
What
but
what Jack got to do is come on and have a Russian roulette, right? And swing the trigger around. People start watching.
here, let me address this. I say this a lot. The legal secrets. What I'm talking about is the structures of our government that allow corporate secrets, the military, the the deep ops, the covert agents, all these non-disclosure agreements, oaths of offices that are keeping secrets between humanity. Secrets create lies, and a lack of information, a lack of available knowledge that creates confusion and fear. And it's through the confusion and fear that Joe Biden is president, and the world economy is the state it's in. Because
I think
humanity,
it's up to us, Jack. Like you gave me a rope and you're helping me. And I think it's just up to us to use our soul energy. Like you're using your soul energy to help me. And I
well,
appreciate that. Whereas a Gen Z reject is on TikTok, they're not helping me.
we are all part of the same experience. And you're right, there's many people in the world that are not part of our experience, and yet they are. And the world is what it is. We don't know what the future is going to bring. We don't know what's going on outside of here and now, right? We don't know what's happening in the world right now. There could be, hey, they could be announcing that they settled the wars already. They could be announcing peace right now. It's not likely, not without our involvement, but it's possible.
One thing that you said, Jack, about, ending the legal secrets, one big part was in 2008, Obama made it legal for the government to lie to its own people and citizens. So propaganda was allowed to be lied to the rest of the world, but they weren't allowed to lie to their own citizens until Obama made that legal. So that's something that, should definitely be repealed. There shouldn't be any of this classified and all these things. It's time for transparency because, at what's been going on, there's been too much corruption, devastation, death, and destruction. And, it needs full transparency. And that means complete, no classified, complete, utter, open all lines of, transparency to everything that's ever transpired through the government.
this is our opportunity for that to happen. And I know right now there is a lot of people who've been taking it on themselves, exercising their rights under Freedom of Information Act. There's a lot of professional investigators and individuals who are taking it on themselves to look into what the hell is going on. And we are alive at a time where the truth is obvious. The corruption is obvious. The path we're heading towards censorship, towards continuing the path of authoritarianism. And we don't have to. We have the chance somehow, some way. We all have connections. We all know people. And if we can start joining together, sharing solutions, encouraging each other, hey, let's reach out to these elected officials. Let's see what they happen to know as human beings. Let's let's see what we can do to gain some transparency, some accountability.
Yeah, it's a thing. So what this is a think tank. What we're trying to do, the reason I'm on social media now as an investigative journalist, is we're trying to come up with solutions to fix the world. We're trying to root out the evil like you're doing. Jack, you're an extremely smart man, and a world without lies would solve a lot. This is what we need. The politicians and the government, they're not smart anymore. Our militaries, I mean, it's lower than it was in the whole 20th century, since before World War II. We have no military. We have no intelligence. But there is intelligence out there.
There's a lot of intelligence.
Right, but we don't have power. We need to get power back, right? And knowledge is power. And we here, as America's last hope, and I put myself into that too, because I'm trying to use my soul energy to correct the problem too. And I need others around me who are willing to live with purpose, who are willing to live without fear like you want us to help me. Because as a think tank, one person, no, maybe a think tank, 20 people presenting it to the Congress, that would get something done. And I'm talking about a smart idea. They will listen because they are intelligent and they're begging. They're on their hands and knees. God, someone save us. Who can?
I
Millennials.
like how you put that, MC and Nemesis, because they've used the think tanks against us, and now we're using the think tanks, to counter any of what they've done to us, so that way we can rise up into the true power, that we're meant to be here on Earth, not the slaves that they want us to be.
Hey, Sarah, I know God bless you, my friend, but you're another one who just seems to find opposition to everything that we say or I say. Let's think that through. Okay. Partially true. A world without lies will not immediately on its own rid the world of evil. No, probably not. A lot of pissed off people when they learn the truth. Yep. They may want vengeance. They may. And especially if they're evil. Those who are evil, they seek revenge, they seek punishment, they seek all sorts of things. But I believe without the lies, without the illusions of authority and, all of the worshiping and protecting of all these systems, the systems are held together with secrets and lies, people pretending they've got authority. And then we go along and we agree, okay, yeah, you've got authority today. But a world lies are created by evil. I mean, even in the mythology, we've got God is the light, the truth. And then there's the Lord of lies. The Lord of lies would create the excuses for secrets, of course, because the power of the truth is divine. And I think without secrets and lies, yes, people would be angry at the truth, but guess what? Who cares? Get over the anger. The truth is true. And that's what we've all got to do on different levels.
Better than the course that we're on right now, that's for sure.
Amen. The course we're on right now is it's unacceptable. I mean, I don't, to bring back the, the reality, my life, I have not personally experienced, the things I've seen reported, but it appears that there are millions of men, women, and children without homes, living in these refugee camps and, God forbid, waiting, processing outside of someone's borders. And so we've got all these people without lands, and not just people without lands, interrupted, restricted by these lines in the sand, but people's homelands are being destroyed economically through conflicts, through civil unrest, and then, the corruption and manipulation of the markets. We got to keep things, can't have an overabundance of resources. There's a lot.
Yeah, Jack, but you also know about the coercion methods that so what people will do is they'll try to create a scenario to where they well so there's a video that they make, like say if you're a married politician and they secretly film a video, they pay a prostitute to sleep with you. That's blackmail. That's what they do with all forms of media. And the politician will choose that instead of taking accountability for what they done, they will form a secret and a lie. Like Vince McMahon, $3 million paid to that one woman and for sexually assaulting her, like hush money is what I'm saying. What you're describing is these CEOs that are paying out hush money to people and the governments that are silencing people. You don't want people to be silenced. You want freedom of speech. You want people to reveal their true nature. My question to you is, this is where we differ on this issue. What people should we let into our utopia? Should we let everybody, or should we cherry pick?
You're unbelievable, dude.
It's a rational question. It's a reasonable, rational question.
Totally deflected from the topic I was just discussing to go around to this other nonsensical. Who are we going to choose? We're God. Who are we going to choose is worthy of being with us?
You want to live with a pedophile, Jack?
Holy
You
crap,
want to?
dude. You're out of your...
Jack, I'm just asking you, would you have Christmas dinner with an abortionist?
You're not trying to understand. You're trying...
I'm trying to create division because I
know you're trying to create division.
And I'm trying to tell you
why.
We can only have peace with people who allow us to have peace with them. What if they reject peace and choose war?
Like
don't we
you?
have to have... Well, yes. I don't want to make...
I guess here's what we do. Those who want to reject peace and choose war don't need to be a part of my life. You get it?
So you don't mind living with pedophiles?
Holy shit. If that's where your mind is at, have a good night, Nemesis.
Well, I wanted to ask him a question. I know you wanted him out, but I wanted to put it on him. If he says he's a Christian and Christian belief says, if someone repents, then, they're accepted into the kingdom of heaven. So if a pedophile repents, would you have dinner with them, MC Nemesis?
I know Jack gets mad at me for that. He wants me to accept everybody, regardless of...
No, I'd just like you to pay attention and understand what I'm saying instead of derailing and...
You want me to accept everybody. It's hard.
Well, get over it. It's the path. It's the way. Recognizing, I've said this before, In the Old Testament, the duality was brought forth. Okay, the law was given. And then when Jesus came forth, the truth and the grace was brought forth. Jesus brought the unity consciousness, the recognition that we are all neighbors. We are all brothers and sisters. We are all here from the same one source, one God, one love.
But what if one of those neighbors tries to fuck a kid and fucks a kid? Should I offer?
Nemesis, okay, so you don't want to understand. You want to understand why you should not.
I want
Agree.
to. I'm just asking you a question. So no
Well,
exclusion.
Nemesis, here. In a moral and just society, there would not be so many child abusers. Right now, I would bet money in many of the homes in your neighborhood, many of the neighborhoods and many of the communities, there's some disgusting people living amongst us. And I understand what you're saying, but I don't judge another's heart. I don't know another's heart. I judge by the fruits. And as long as there's not an individual in front of me talking about wanting to, or, showing behavior of being disturbed, I'm not going to know, am I? Unless I'm walking around in this superiority complex, believing I'm better than everybody else. And here's the deal. If someone does show signs in a moral and just society, we would not be covering it up. We wouldn't be making jokes about it. We'd be taking it seriously, listening to some of the victims, right? So Nemesis, in the future, just like right now, there's people of all types. God controls who comes into and out of our lives, and we each get to choose what we do. I just know we can do better than what we have.
It is a beautiful message.
It's what Jesus was teaching, to be honest, and it's not that hard or complicated, because science, logic, reasoning, everything points to the same thing. God is real.
So you say not to judge. Why is Daisy May saying that if I represent Christians, I'm not a good one? RG, Nemesis is a violent felon.
Well, see, brother, there you are. You're an example of that. Being judged and being labeled today by things from the past.
It's not my fault. I wanted to move on. It's just whenever I put in an application, it could be 10 years, 20 years down the road, and employers, what happened that night? And I'll be like, I don't know. I don't remember the details. Honestly, it's been 10 years, to be honest. I'm a new person. But yet I still am judged for it. So to say, you're saying that get past it all. Well, the world's not, though, Jack. So I live in the world.
Okay, but yes, but here, brother, and thank you. You know what? I'm kind of rough on you sometimes, and people are rough on you, but I know that you're pretty authentic these days. And I know you're trying to understand. It is tough, because you're right, Nemesis. The world is that way. The world is punishing, and regardless of our past, we've got to be honest. And the world today wants you to disclose the past, and we're here to overcome the ways of the world. Okay? We've got to find our way to navigate through it, with it, so the world doesn't hold us back, but also so that we don't destroy ourselves in the process. I think my life,
like for you, like I see that sometimes you get emotional about things. Some questions are tough, and what I do is not to derail anything. It's just I think it is derailment. However, it's not intentional. Like, I'm not doing it
I
intentionally.
know.
However,
Yes.
when I'm in conversations, see, what I do is I go and I listen to people, and then I will sometimes parrot back what other people say to see how other people feel about it and to see if it's good or bad. So when people in the comments here are criticizing me, I said, okay, well, let me make up my own criteria of judging. Like Daisy May says, I'm a hateful, bitter, judgmental person. She hates my guts. I'm the worst human that she's ever seen. That's the judgment that I'm get. And for me, I say, go ahead, because that's your righteous judgment. If you want to judge me, that's your choice. But if I made up a criteria to judge others, you wouldn't like it. And then I make up the criteria that I'm going to judge, then all of a sudden, you're hateful and judgmental. But yet, they make up the criteria and judge me, the world does. But yet, when I make it up, I'm wrong. My own criteria.
Yep. With yes. We've got to realize that, what is true, regardless if others abide by it or not. And there's something to be said, though, brother, about we do create our own reality. Who was our friend earlier was talking about this regarding the conscious mind and subconscious mind. Through the energies of our thoughts and our spirits, we're going to create these interactions for us to learn from. And nemesis, if you've got other people judging you, I would bet it's a lesson for you to see, maybe I shouldn't be judging. Maybe I shouldn't be so judgmental on others. It's easier for us to overcome our judgment when we stay curious, right? Stay curious, and curiosity requires humility. So if we stay humble and curious, we can also stay grateful. And if we can do those things, we'll listen more. We'll pay more attention.
Okay, so in order to have a civil discussion, like I said, there's people in the comments that are saying things about me that are directly contradicting what you're saying.
Okay.
They're just like, they like to judge me based on the narratives they make up about me. And these are some of my trolls that are here. Like I said, you can see them in the comments,
I understand.
And so what I'm saying is this is that you're telling me one thing, you're like, do not judge people. But then what? But then what are these people in the comments? What are they for? They're judging. Like, what do I do with these people in the comments? What do I say to them?
Learn from them. Learn and discern if are they being honest about their experience, because they may be making something up, or they may be misunderstanding. Most times, though, they're seeing something, and God will bring us the evidence we need until we humble ourselves and see the truth. I don't think you're hateful. I think you have a reputation already that you're carrying based on things from the past, and based on how how others may have seen you presenting yourself here online.
I
Okay.
think people get afraid of me, like what I might do or say. Like, I make people fear, and I don't want to give people no spirit of fear.
Right. We'll overcome it. Hey, welcome, Linz.
Hi, can you hear me? Doing a test.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I agree, MC, that with Jack, that your heart is good. I know for sure. Just you can just tell. I've been around long enough to know that when people's intentions are good and when they're kind of shaky. I believe your intentions are good, but it's your presentation, the way you talk to people, all of those things, the judgments, all of those things come across as more judgmental and more agenda driven than sincere and off the cuff. And this is just my opinion. Again, I could be wrong, whatever. But like you said, you're trying to help other people. I'm trying to help you. And what I see is somebody that has kind of a filter issue in that you can't see how you come across sometimes. You will make grandiose judgments about people, but you don't want them made about you. And that contradicts the Christian Bible too, right? Doesn't that judging others kind of contradict that? And then when you put yourself above others, they can't hear you. And so you're contending with all these people who are saying, hey, quit judging me and quit coming off as caustic when you just want to have a conversation.
I think it's okay to judge people who judge you back because they have already made up their mind who you are. So you can just go ahead and eliminate, like Jack said, he just cuts people out from his life like that. He makes a judgment and cuts them away.
It's perfectly okay to judge people, and everyone does it, whether they like to admit it or not. But when you're trying to get a point across and have people on your side open enough to listen to you, you can't treat them a certain way. And you've already been told many, many times that this room is not I'm not sure if I can say this, child sex SA issues.
Yeah,
The room is not about that, but you keep bringing that up, and that's why you're meeting so much resistance. Those two things.
Well, like if you notice the comments, people keep bringing up my past history, so we're just in a loop right now, Linz.
No. I think that you're stuck in a loop about child SA, and you keep bringing it here despite the fact that...
No, I'm saying that you're right. You're completely right about everything that you're saying. I'm saying that I'm opening myself up. I'm saying you're right. I'm just saying
and people
that
admire that.
I'm just saying what I'm observing right now are people. This is like if you want to see an active attack on what you shouldn't do, this is the comments. And you're right. I shouldn't judge others.
No, I didn't say that. I said it's perfectly normal and okay to judge when it becomes too much and completely imbalanced. Instead of being a safety mechanism to protect you, then people won't listen to you when it's too much. When you say things like, I'm a good Christian, I'm right and you're wrong. Well, we know you mean well because you ascribe to the things that you read in the Bible, and you're trying to get apart an important message. But there's a way to do it in which you don't alienate people and make them feel antagonistic towards you, and you are lacking that. I mean, I feel mean saying that, but that's
I
basic...
understand.
And also, one more thing, I'm almost done. Looking through the comment section is kind of funny sometimes, and then you glance and you see all this terrible crapola about yourself. You have to know when to look away so you can deliver your message instead of focus on being attacked.
Yeah.
I usually block them from my page. I just block them out because I tried to deal with them all during the year 2023 and actually talk to them, and they just kept going on loops, accusatory loops.
You have to have a welcome audience. And if they're not amenable to hearing you, the problem could be theirs or it could be yours. And so
I tried
why
to
not
talk to them. Like, you can ask them in the comments. I went live all the time. I had people on panel. They would porn bomb me. This crowd right here that projects, beware, by the way. These people are saying stuff. I have been porn bombed, and I'm just making you aware of the attacks that I've faced. I've been doxxed. I've been porn bombed. I've been trolled. I've been told my music sucks, and people who don't even listen to my music will take the time and energy to perpetuate a narrative that I suck.
There's a lot of cruelty.
Yes.
Okay, I
don't think you belong on the internet, dude. I think you're one of those people that belongs off the internet.
Well,
if you consider those attacks, then you probably shouldn't be on the internet.
Well, they are attacks when they're irrelevant, unhealthy, unhelpful.
I just said I was
doxxed, crying wolf.
and you said I don't belong on the internet.
It sounds like he's just crying wolf.
Well,
he's just playing the
defensive. Are you standing up for doxers?
Tell you what. Hold on.
Can I talk?
He's supporting doxing now, Jack.
Well,
wow.
I don't see that.
Well, I'm just saying, dude, like, Like, you're kinda coming off as a bit of a
Jeremy,
baby.
you're a
Let me
retard.
talk.
You
Can I
support
talk?
doxing. You're
Can I
stupid.
talk?
No.
Did you just call him a
No.
retard? You see my
Yes.
point here?
He supports doxers. Anyone that supports doxers is
I
You
didn't
want
say
him to
that, dude.
listen
I'm just saying
Nemesis,
you sound
and you
like kind of
call
a
him a
baby.
retard.
hold on.
Come on,
hold
dude.
Yeah, you sound like kind of a baby, dude.
on. Tell you what,
Probably shouldn't be on
I don't.
the
I don't. You're welcome. You're welcome to the panel. You're welcome to join. I don't want this to turn into a dog pile on Nemesis. Okay.
Okay.
I agree. Nemesis, he's growing. He's growing through some patterns of the past. He's growing in his spiritual knowledge, and growing through some of the emotional immaturity of the past. The topic of judgment, I mean, that's a big topic that a lot of people are just so proud of their damn judgments. All of judgment is a thought. It's an idea. Doesn't mean it's real. Doesn't mean it has any relevance. But I don't
If we
know.
were all going to be honest, and I'll start, I've been a jerk to many people here with sassy comments or rude comments because I made judgments that were too soon. I don't know the word what I'm looking for.
Lens, do you think that
And-
we should defend people who dox people?
She's
I
still
think you
caught
should
on.
stay away from toxic people. And if you're this sensitive, and I myself am kind of sensitive, so usually I ignore a lot of the comments, then you should either be offline or prepare yourself emotionally.
I think that you should be offline right now.
Well, hold
Like,
on.
you should
He's
just go.
way
I don't
too
think that
defensive,
you
dude.
have any value, and I
Well,
think you
hey,
should
defensive.
just.
stop.
That's what she's saying to me.
That's not what I said.
Lens,
what
go
you're
off the internet.
hearing.
Get off.
Yeah, baby.
Hey, please, Jeremy. It's what you're hearing, and I can relate. Believe me, I've had. When I was facing foreclosure on my home, I've got assholes here in the chat and over on Paul's stream sharing my physical address, my phone number. You want to bitch about being doxxed? I've been there. Okay, I don't support this nonsense either. But here's the reality: should you be on the internet? Should I be on the internet? Who knows?
Only if
We
you can
are,
handle it.
What's that?
I said only if you can handle it. If you're that vulnerable, why doesn't that make sense? Why is that confusing to MC? That if you are too vulnerable for whatever reason, not that that's right or wrong, it's how it is, then you should not lend yourself to attack by appearing on cam.
Who said I was vulnerable? I got hide like a rhino. I'm one of the strongest. I
Look, I'm not
stand
going
up
to
to
fight
this
with you. I was
scrutiny.
trying to help you. Okay, so
Lens, I'm right here standing up to the scrutiny. I got hide like a rhino, girl.
Okay, Nemesis, can I say something for you? All right. Just like Lindsay said, and I think Jack a little bit said it, I've been doxxed twice already. I've been trolled and all kind of stuff. If you're not ready for the internet interaction, you can't handle it. Don't be on the internet. That's simple.
Yeah, but Jeremy supported it.
Okay, but you can ask him instead of calling him a retard, ask him why he supported it instead of calling him a retard.
I think that anyone who supports people who dox others is a retard. Let me state, fuck yourself. Is that clear?
I'm not. I understand.
Right.
Go fuck yourself.
Hold on. Check for just a moment. Did Jeremy leave?
Yeah.
I wanted to ask if that's true, but you know what? If true, I agree you shouldn't be going to insults, but at the same time, someone supporting the doxing, I'd be a little pissed off, a little sensitive about that as well. Particularly,
I was doxed and Jeremy told me to grow up. Fuck you.
Right.
Fuck every one of you who think that. Go fuck yourself.
Nemesis, chill out. Okay? Because that grow up, grow up, dude.
That's what I'm saying. These faggots need to grow.
There we go with the language. Oh my God.
I guess something rang true and triggered him. Maybe he'll be able to think about it and take what he can, and maybe it was for nothing at all. But that's what happens when you try to help someone and not ready to be helped. So I accept that.
And I think Jack, I think Jesse asked him a perfect question. Like, you know me, I'm totally against the child stuff, right? Totally. But in all scripture, all the Abrahamic scripture, if somebody repents, he should be given mercy. It doesn't matter what he did. You can be punished for it, I'm sure, in some way, but only God's supposed to like kind of punish you. But in man's world, you're stuck in that situation. But yeah, if you ask and you repent and you really mean it, you're supposed to be forgiven and treated a certain way.
Absolutely.
That's why you look at people's hearts, right? Because
exactly,
and their intentions, even though they may be being a jerk, their intentions and motives and everything else considered, it can kind of make sense sometimes. It doesn't mean that you excuse the behavior. It means that you can forgive it.
Yep.
But I don't know why we try to reach out to MC and, with a good heart, and he turns it into something bad, because I notice he does that every time. He does that every time.
Not every time. He's not as bad as you're painting him out to be either. Okay.
As I am?
Right. It's not every time.
When did I say he was bad?
Forgive my misspeak. Okay. You didn't say he was bad. You're saying that, well, what was your intention? To say he was bad or to help him become better? What was your intention?
Yeah, I see it was my intention to help, because I see two major things that he could improve on. And if he wanted to, dish it back to me and tell me things that I could improve on, I'm open to listening at least. But I saw two main things, so I tried to kindly point them out, and, in a very constructive way and not a tacky kind of way. Well, giving him his dues, because he is very honest and he does have good intentions. That was all my intentions were. That was my intention. And just like he's saying, though, he comes from the same perspective. He's trying to help people who are non-Christian believers believe like he does, because he believes that he's found a way to be at peace. And then but he feels attacked all the time. So that's the bottom line in all of it to me. Because he feels attacked, he's not ready for this, because you have to be strong and take people's hate and take their comments about your body and everything you say and your face and your experiences and what you did in 1982 at 10 o'clock in the morning. It's, you.
Hey, Linz, okay, let's dig into that topic. Okay.
Okay, I still want to know why you think I called him bad.
Well,
what are you even meaning by that?
I don't remember exactly what you said, but you had just got done saying that every time something happened, he does wrong. He's not.
Oh, he turns it into something negative.
Okay, so there you go. I've seen it's not every time. And if someone is turning something into negative, is that a good thing or a bad thing, do you think? Because I was reflecting back on your words, Lynn.
If I think it in terms of utility, which is what I was trying to provide, it's, and I can only choose two words. I would say bad or good. I would say that's bad.
Right, and that's why I chose the word bad. I didn't mean to cause offense to what you were doing. I didn't mean to diminish anything you did. I'm
not offended. I'm trying to.
What I saw, and that you were exaggerating when you said that every time he's presented with something, he turns it into negativity.
Okay, let me rephrase and say every time I'm seeing him in some other chat, someone else's chat, and this one, he's fighting with people.
Okay.
Or people are fighting with him.
That's the only thing you see? Because I see other things than just that as well.
Well, then why did you just call him a jerk or some name like that, and he triggered you and you called him a jerk?
What is the relevance? What are we resolving here, Lindsay?
I think you're calling me out and I'm calling you out.
Why?
A little bit. Well, because you of your somewhat negative reaction to me being a realist with this MC, because most people tiptoe around him or they attack him. There's never any in between.
Never any in between. Huh?
All right, you're bugged by the absolutes.
Right. because the ego exaggerates. The ego brings confusion, and I understand the intentions.
Interesting, though, that you just called him a jerk and nearly kicked him off. But I can't say what I've said. And if you hear mad or anger in my voice,
Lindsay, you can say anything you want, and I think it's been pretty clear about that. But for the love of God, can we move on to a different topic? That's what I was trying to do.
Yes.
Okay. God bless. Thank you for permission.
Peace, Jack.
I understand the intentions. Many people come up on the panel with the idea they're helping each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand. But here, the topic I wanted to come back to was...
Is it judgment?
What you offered is that him getting attacked is his problem. And if he's going to even be slight... No. I'm exaggerating now what I heard.
He has a part in it, just like all of us do.
Mm-hmm.
In our own problems and the way we're treated.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hey, Jack?
Yeah.
With what Tarek said, I asked him a question, and he just deflected and wouldn't answer it, right? So, he keeps on bringing up this thing, but you put it back to people that make them be accountable for what they're doing, and then they'd like to deflect from it. And that's what he did instead of just answering the question.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, was that towards me?
No. When you came up, you said MC Nemesis when I asked him a good question, and then he just deflected from it.
Yeah, you're right. No, he did deflect from it. I think you asked him a very good question, and I think the answer was right there in all three scriptures. That's how it's supposed to be. Supposed to have mercy no matter what. People change. Maybe somebody had a bad childhood. Maybe somebody was molested when they were younger and they have a lot of issues, never know how to deal with it. So you have to take that in effect and understand that situation. And maybe it could have led to some abuse and other stuff in the household. So you definitely have to have mercy and then help somebody if they're going through that, at least.
Here on this comment, people help people by exposing blind spots in the other person's thinking. That is a great way to help another person. Unfortunately, that requires the recipient to be humble enough to realize they don't know the whole truth in reality. That's one factor. What I see an awful lot, though, here on these panels, people think they're exposing blind spots. They think they're exposing weaknesses. They think they're exposing problems, but they're really projecting.
Are you implying that I was projecting, or does this have nothing to do with me? It's just a general statement.
This comment was simply generally. Yeah, okay. I wasn't thinking of you at all, but
because we can battle, Jack. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I know. Everyone wants.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to. But I'm just trying to listen to what you're saying, so maybe I can learn something I don't know.
Yes. Well, here, this is the game. Sometimes people are projecting. Sometimes people are exposing. What I see is reflecting. They're being an honest reflection, saying this is my perspective of this is what is real. That's an honest reflection. And I think that would be exposing. But most times, here, not to name names, but our dear friend Paul Unslaved, he is a perfect example in all of his going on and ons about other people. He's describing himself nearly every time. It's the way the human mind works. It's the way the ego works. It's fascinating. And yet it is so divine. I don't know.
Maybe not always divine, Jack.
Well, that divine is an interesting word too. I mean, what is divine? That which is divine is perfect. In my mind, that which is divine is pure. What is pure? The truth. The truth, when it's at its essence, that's pure, that's divine. At its essence, when love is pure, love is divine.
Maybe you project as well. And yes, this does sound like an attack, but I want you to know for sure it's not. I see a lot of parallels and ironies in things. So I wanted to propose something. Maybe because you feel like an underdog yourself, assuming you do, don't know, or a victim, you have projected that onto MC, and you want to tell him that it's okay and to be himself and this and that. I don't know.
Do you want
Are
to
you
know?
protecting him because you think he's an underdog?
Partially. I believe we are all underdogs. I believe we're all worthy of change, being allowed to change, and we're all worthy of changing ourselves. And Nemesis and I, we have spoken off the panel as well. He's learning. We're all learning, and that's actually what I see too. I've admitted my learning. I've pointed out my growth, my stumbles. I tried it, and I've offered it generously that many people are learning who they are and about themselves on these panels. So for me to kind of, I don't think
you foster someone they can't change, and you're
that's
fostering.
not true.
You
Okay,
impede.
foster.
Hey, Jack, can I hop in real quickly?
Oh,
Lynn's, just so you know, I've personally seen this person change, verbally at least, I don't know them personally, over several months, observing them elsewhere and not wanting to be on panels. I've said this before. And I won't take away anyone's growth, simply, and we all grow at our own paces. I understand. And this is the thing, actually, my question for Jack about glass houses. About how it seems to be there's such a prevalence here in the streaming world for some reason.
But I already counted myself in that imperfection.
I'm not talking about.
I have my own issues too.
Yeah, no, I'm. This isn't framing at you. This is framing just because I see. I timed someone out for 24 hours in chat. I've never done this before, but and I took them out of the conversation in one of their alts because there's just folks that are so frothed at the mouth to make someone else look like they're less than problematic and will not let them change. And I tend to believe that these people, more often than not, are standing in glass houses throwing big old stones. I just wanted to know how Jack felt about that, because Lindsay, what you're saying is not. You brought some criticism that was constructive, and actually, you have your points. I don't know if I agree with all of them, but you have your points, and I'm not going to take that away from you. But Jack, what do you think about that stuff? Because I think you see that a lot, both in your against your message, against your panels, and let me just message also. I don't know if you agree with this, but I just don't think this is the place for the drama channels. There's plenty of frothing, monstrous people out there that are welcome to have you throw slander, which is what it is. It's just slander, and you're an adult. People are adults, sometimes the ramifications on this stuff is wide-reaching. So what do you think about that, Jack? Because I know that you've been subject to it as well.
It's the world we live in. I've been, certainly myself, I've been a lot more mindful of casting stones and trying to avoid ad hominem attacks. But the world is certainly filled with them right here and now. And what I see, honestly, is I'm focused on my life, my journey, what is happening with me. And I know everyone's living their own lives, but I've been able to learn a lot from being attacked, from people coming out, casting the first stones. And this is what maybe this is why too. Maybe this is why I am a little quick to defend someone when I see it looks like they're kind of piling on. And I'm not saying that did happen. I was mindful of that because I've experienced it so many times. Here, the big thing though is just because the world has been this way, where people are so quick to cast judgment, cast accusations and dispersions, just because it's been that way doesn't mean it has to continue.
That's called judgment.
Well, people call it all sorts of things. They make all sorts of excuses for rudeness, and I'm not saying that's what happened here. I'm saying that it does happen. People get in their head.
It's a part of life.
It's an unhealthy part of life that doesn't need to be enabled. We can help each other.
I think, but I would argue that judgment is discernment that can help you and keep you safe. For example, I'll do really quickie. My mom always told me to be nice to everybody. And she said, whether it doesn't matter what color, what race, be friendly, and you never know what kind of day people are having, whatever. I've obviously messed that up here and there, but so I would do that. And I attracted a stalker and also a guy on a park bench. Let's just say that didn't go well. I talked to a random guy on a park bench, and got into some trouble there with a weirdo. So I say judgment and discernment is necessary. It can be a necessary evil because it actually is there to protect you and to keep you safe. But it can also be a bad thing. I don't think it should be thrown away altogether because you can't just be really nice to everybody. They won't let you.
I think that seems altruistic to not see the wide scope of the differences between judgment, personally, and which is safety. The basis of all our decisions are based on judgment. Totally agreed. 100% safety issue. And extremist reactionary behavior, which is hyperbole used to slander, which is so popular here. And I think that's what we're actually talking about. The difference, which is an extreme, which is some of the stuff that was going down in chat, which we see in these other channels. That may be a form of judgment, but it is a form of judgment that is so far past the legitimate, real world statements one would make. And I always make this rule. I make this rule for myself. I make it for others. If you wouldn't sit in a bar and say that stuff to the person next to you, you probably shouldn't say it online. and if you wouldn't say that at work, you probably shouldn't say it online. But people do because they have a screen.
I'm just
so
confused. There's been so many people in the chat and on the panel that say I make them uncomfortable, and I want to know why.
Probably talking about the children and PEDO stuff.
That's
right.
Part of it. And you've got an aggression to you. You may not realize it. It's your energy. And it's just not always timed at the right time. I would assume that might be what's happening.
You guys can say whatever you want about me. It doesn't matter because I know the truth about me. That's it. If you want to get to know me, I can tell you.
Nemesis.
But that's besides the point. Why focus on me? This is about.
So Nemesis, why are you getting emotional?
Why focus on me, Tarek? This is about Jack. This is his panel, not me.
I know, I understand, but you're not letting nobody talk. Why are you getting emotional? That's my question.
I thought we changed
I'm trying to get people to listen to Jack. I am nothing. Listen to Jack, not me.
Here.
No, Tarek, if I stab you, do you not bleed? Why should he not get emotional? That value is so irrational and unfair to any other human at all. Sorry, Jack. I just have to say this because it is so constant on YouTube and the streaming, as if people don't have some kind of reaction. This isn't Debate Bro. Go to Debate Bro if you want Twitch poll behavior. This is we're having conversations about our personal affectation and interest. Sorry, it's just so ridiculous.
No problem. Whenever you're ready, I have a question for you. I've seen you on panel, right? And I've seen how you talk, and you're a very smart guy. You have a lot of good points. But I also seen you like more of a misogynist. You're like diplomatic. You don't like to, I'm gonna say it how it is. That's exactly what I see. That's my opinion. You don't like to say it how it is. You just like right in the middle because you think you probably can win favors that way. I don't think it's a good approach to tell anybody, not just nemesis. It could be me, it could be Lindsay, it could be anybody. You're not really helping anybody if you're not telling the truth. And I think you are misogynist and you are always diplomatic.
Interesting. So you think that misogyny, hold on a second, I got to understand this. Is misogyny associated to diplomacy? And explain that.
Both of them. I mean, I'm just telling you, I'm giving you two characters. I'm not just giving you one.
Okay. So how am I misogynist, though? Because I, first off, personally worship Dum Pum Pum. I believe that women are God, in my own personal life, and diplomacy, yes. Part of what makes me me is the fact that I'm able to access diplomacy and see other people's sides and empathize with others. It's important.
Okay. And I agree with that. I'm not saying you shouldn't be sometimes diplomatic in some situations, but if you're always diplomatic, it's not good. Now, if you have watched Nemesis and Jack and Liz and everybody else, we've been trying to help him and I'm not saying I'm not perfect. I'm perfect. I'm far from perfect. But we've been trying to help him with some of the stuff he's experiencing, and nobody allows it to happen because they always want to be diplomatic and not say the truth.
Hold on. MC, let me ask MC, though. MC, have I always been diplomatic with you?
What I need people here to understand is I am trying to build what Jack's vision is. Do I get it wrong? Yes, I have mistakes. Am I gonna present his message correctly? What he's trying to do that help me? No, because I don't understand it like he does. All I'm trying to get you guys is to say, forget about me. Let's listen to Jack. That's what I'm trying to come across.
That's what we were trying to do.
What I've done.
Well,
forget about trying to psychologically disable me, or like not disable but analyze me. Let's talk about Jack and to live with that fear.
Hold on, please. Nemesis, I appreciate, I actually really appreciate what you're saying. Now, unfortunately, though, I think some of the correction offered to you was because you do sometimes interrupt and take the topic off on other things. So what I would really like to do, though, honestly, and it's not about me, it's just that I know what I've been learning from my own practices, and if I know they've transformed my inner state of being, and that if people do try to understand, they can learn. Nemesis has been learning from me, and that's why he's been so encouraging and promotive. And he doesn't always do it right, but guys, we are part of something amazing.
Yes.
Whatever is happening through us and with us, it's easy. Emotions do get involved, right? And there's a lot of people who have good intentions, good hearts, but the way we execute when we're trying to offer help, we're clumsy, and we do cause offense. Sometimes the truth is offensive, and I know we can be a little more mindful with each other, mindful of what our purpose is, and maybe try to understand better what others feel their purpose is without the judgment as much.
What are your mindful practices, Jack? Speaking of which,
it's easier now, but it's constantly reminding myself that right now is when I live. And also, this is the other part that I brought up earlier. Right now is very temporary. So even if I'm miserable and I'm afraid and I'm angry, as long as I remember, all right, right now is where I'm at. The mental anger, the fear, it's in my head. So right now is where I live. I can release from that chaos. And then I remind myself, this too shall pass. And practice of gratitude, brother, that's how I stay present.
That's pretty cool. That's very helpful.
Hey, I didn't realize how long we've gone. We've had some dramas, some great topics, and some beautiful conversation.
Jack, I wanted to ask you, because
shut
I'm
it
trying to learn from you, right? How can you mentioned talking about politicians, and you mentioned talking about how we can get to them. What should we do? Should we do it via letter, or should we, like I said, come up with like a dozen people, and let's say like a dozen people stage approach? Like, what ways do you think would be most effective? Like an interview, asking for an interview from them so we can discuss like a private chat with the mayors of our, like, not the mayors, but just the local bodies of our government, to give them what we know so we can help people, right? Like, what's the best way to get the message out, you feel, and what we can do, and people on the panel to really like reach out in our community and to actually act upon what you're saying?
I love that question. It starts, everything starts within each of us. So individually, if we as individuals who can come up with the idea and the belief that we can play a role, that God will allow us to find a way to bring more righteousness, more honesty, more transparency into the governments, meeting with family, meeting with churches, meeting with building community in your own community. And between you, if you've got a good grasp on what's going on with the politics and the economy, have a heart-to-heart with them, even if it's not with all of the answers. I don't know what to suggest. I know what I would do for myself, but I know what I've been studying.
I would like, I think it would be awesome if we had some video evidence of people like, maybe recording some of their conversations with their officials. We have some people like on the panel that would be sharing videos that they talk to officials and spreading the message of yourself. And I think that through the politicians, we could really start to let them be aware, since they have some reach, and then other influencers too. And I think we need to, I'd like to see some videos of people just talking to their, talking about the message. That would be awesome to see if we can make that happen, guys. Anybody interested? I am.
Nemesis, can I ask you a question? And that may be also
as long
for
as
Jack
it's
or
not
anybody.
about me, only about
No,
Jack.
it's not.
I'm not talking about
Sir,
me. I'm not talking about me. I'm not talking
Here,
about my
we're
past. I'm
not
not talking about anything about me.
again.
This is about Talcott and Live Without
Let
Fear.
the question go, please. Thank you.
Wow, I didn't say it was going to be about you. So you think right now that you're going to be able to change the system that's been in check for like 200-300 years with so much power, with you going to your state officials and cities? You really think that's going to happen?
Hey, Tarek, don't direct that at Nemesis. That's
I
obviously
said to anybody on the panel. I said to anybody on the panel, right. Jack, anybody.
Then yes, Tarek, I believe that is the way to do it. Because here, the entire world of today, let's face it, we all know it's run by bankers. Bankers are running the corrupted politicians. The corrupted politicians are making things easier for the executives, right? The corporations. We have fascism today, where the corporations and the states have united. So where are all of the power? Where is all of the power of these corporations and governments? It's through man's laws. Who writes man's laws? Congress. Oh, wow. Those public servants are the ones who are writing the rules.
Okay.
Let's get them to do their jobs a little better.
Okay. I'm not disagreeing with you on trying to change the system. What I'm saying to you, Jack, is take, for example, the nationalists, right? These people been in their own state doing their own thing for the longest time. They know the rules, they know the law, they know how to get in there and do a lot of stuff with the state and the cities and all that, right? They haven't changed it yet, and they are also in power in some ways.
We know the challenge.
What I'm trying to say is, I personally don't think the system can be changed. Just worry about yourself.
Right.
In the community.
All right. That's why you've offered me no support, and why you've been very, very disrespectful and fucking mocking me, Tarek. I know, that's why. Because you
stay
don't believe it.
disrespectful.
Hey, Tarek, you don't see how you've been disrespectful with me?
No, I don't. I just told you my
Okay.
opinion. Why would it be disrespectful?
Well, let's go
That's
back
just my
into
opinion,
our
Jack.
past. Let's think back into the totality of our shared experience together, Tarek. And
Okay.
maybe you should reflect on some of the things you and your daddy like to
Mhm.
say, because you are associated with him, in my experience.
Mhm.
You're revealing yourself, Tarek. I'm pointing out what you've been doing. You're right. You don't believe that what I'm saying can be true. And so rather than taking the time to understand why I say the things that I say, you've chosen to oppose me, Tarek. You're one of many so far as I can tell.
See, he don't make
Mhm.
sense, Jack. He just said the Christian nationalists were able to change the world by politicians like you want to.
No, you
But
misheard
yeah,
me.
He
I said
didn't say
they're
but
not
yeah, he
able
just said
to.
that people have
he
the
didn't say
power, but
that.
he said that you don't have the power. Other people do. What are you talking about, Terry?
No. You twisted my words. I said the nationalists that been around and have power are not able to change in the system.
What about
How are
me?
you
What
going to
about
change it?
Jack? What about me? What if
I'm
we
not.
don't let them
I'm
do
not
it? What if
saying that
I don't let
intention.
them? You
Here,
doubt my
Okay,
power? You
hold
doubt
on.
the power
no,
of God, Derek?
I don't
Nemesis,
doubt your
here,
power or
come on.
Jack's. That's not what I meant. Okay,
Right. He's
and I'm not
he's
against
challenging me.
Jack's point of view.
You're challenging the odds, and I understand skepticism. It's fine. I
That's
don't
all I'm
even
saying.
mind doubt or disbelief. But what I do not appreciate is after all of this time, over a year now, people like you who've had plenty of opportunities to try and understand me, or maybe even allow me a chance to convince you. I've spent all this time just facing interruptions. So, Tarek, I love you, man.
I know. I love you too, Jack. I don't think. I think you're
too.
taking this the wrong way, Jack.
I'm not.
No,
I'm
okay, let
not.
me tell you. Okay, I'm not. Okay, again, there's two things here. I am not going against the intention that you are trying to change the system. I'm all about that. Okay, I'm with you 100% that the system should be changed. You're taking it personally for some reason. It's not what I meant. My opinion only is the system cannot be changed. It's too late. There's too much power with these people. They will not let it happen.
You
And
sound
there
like
we
either a
go. The
victim or a
spirit of
loser.
fear, Jack. The
I
spirit of
mean,
fear right here.
hey,
Now,
actually, hold on, Nemesis. I started out being a dick too. Let's back off. It is the spirit, Tarek. If we believe it's too late, then we won't do anything to change it. And this is kind of the topic we got onto with some of the Christian religion belief that everyone's waiting for some savior, waiting for someone else to do everything. And then there's others who believe, like Tommy has said, we're here to lose gracefully. No, God created us to win, for the light to prevail, for the truth to be shared. And I don't know how to convince people to believe. I don't know how to convince people to
I
believe.
mean, Jack, it's simple.
I don't have to.
Jack, you don't have to. You act as a shining light. If I was a politician right now, you could change the world through me. What Jack is saying is what a lobbyist does, except he's not a lobbyist. He is more of a guide. Why is he a
Right.
guide?
Okay.
Because he's allowed God to inject the light in him. Not everybody, like, you have to choose to allow God to use you.
Well, actually, I think we just need to make the choice to stop allowing God to work through us, because God is there. The Spirit of Christ is eternal. It is the Spirit of God's love. Okay. The Spirit of comfort, the Spirit of guidance. All of those things are there for us. And what happens is our loving spirit will bring us these ideas, these inspirations, or Our loving spirit will bring us opportunities to serve another human being, opportunity to grow in our own life or help others. And then the spirit of opportunity comes forth, and what do? Our fears. No, the world can't change, so I'm not going to participate. No, love can't be real, so I'm not going to talk to that person. It's illusions, guys. We're living a dream.
Jack, he may not have said that, the world can't change. It's just, I think he was meaning the system, the beast system. And,
Yes,
a lot of
that's
people are
right.
wanting to fix the beast when some people believe the beast can't be fixed. It's like, not changing the world. That's not that we can't change the world, but are we trying to fix a corrupted, perverted, inverted beast system, or are we trying to, do something entirely new?
Thank you, Jesse. That's exactly what I meant. The beast system and the world is two different things.
What was that
And the
comment?
reason,
What the world? Listen, guys.
no,
Listen, I understand
let
the
me,
mirror image effect. I understand people will always be agents of chaos, and it's because of the fear. That's what we're trying to
it's not
target.
about the fear. No,
You
I'm
don't
not fearful of
believe me?
anything.
Okay, listen. If you criticize, if you worry about YouTube numbers, let's talk about NF, the rapper. That's his whole spiel, fighting his fear, and he has 8 million followers, 1 billion views. So if you're worried about whether the message can come across, just look at his platform.
Okay,
It's like a lightning rod.
no problem. Let's take his platform.
So there's
Hold
no
on.
problem with fighting fear. We all fight it like Jack. You're fighting it in a way. You know what I'm saying? The message.
Yeah.
And I'm
What I'm
saying that NF has 1 billion views. So that's not like you could get 1 billion views because you're giving people value. It's not about numbers. It's about connection.
Yes.
Okay.
The views don't matter. I know for a fact we get the right ideas to the right people. Things can be transformed. I know that if we have the right conversations and these conversations are heard by someone at just the right time, they're going to receive like an aha, a revelation. They'll have a breakthrough in their own mind, in their own path. And I know for a fact that it's possible, even though I don't have 8 million views or, a huge subscriber count. I know there's a possibility that these messages can connect with someone and someone might resonate. A world without secrets. Could that be real? Could that be true? And then they may happen to have a friend or a cousin, an uncle who happens to be in Congress, or maybe a congressman's aide or someone who's got an inside foot into the beast system. It's always possible that my words can connect with someone who's got opportunities and connections. And that's what I'm hoping to do. I'm hoping to connect with other human beings who may realize, the chances are slim. Yep, there's a lot of things stacked against us. The odds of successfully rewriting the rules of society, pretty slim. But if you can believe it's worthy of effort.
I do believe it's worth of effort, Jack. I'm not saying I totally agree with you.
How do you believe it's worthy of effort if you don't believe it can be done?
Okay, I'm explaining to you why. Okay, the intention that you have is 100% correct. I agree with it 100% because you keep saying I don't agree with you, and I know you almost a year or so now, and you keep saying that. I do agree with you on the intention. Okay. I also know for a fact that the B system, which is the machine, okay, it cannot be beat by the human beings already. It's working 24 hours a day on an algorithm, always advancing, being better. They're always going to have the advantage on that side. They won't have the advantage on the soul side.
It ain't bigger than
our
me.
soul, they won't have the advantage.
It ain't bigger than me and Jack.
Now.
Because we trust in faith. That beast ain't got no. You should
You're
be
not.
scared of. You should be revering God. That's what the Bible says, Tarek, not the beast. You better
Did I
revere
say I'm
God, who could
afraid of?
destroy the beast in
Did
an
I
instant.
say I'm afraid of the machine nemesis? Why you're not hearing me? I never said I'm afraid of anything but God.
Hey, they ain't got no
All I'm
power. You've been
saying
lied
is,
to. That
okay,
beast ain't got no power.
Hey, stop. All right. We don't need to
You won't let
argue.
me finish. I'll stop. I won't. Jack,
right.
I don't know if you understood what I'm saying. All I'm saying is, Jack, and I'm going to leave because I have to go. But all I'm saying is, I agree with you. The intention is good. We start trying to change the community, and hopefully one day maybe you'll get a connection where it can get you somewhere to somebody in the system. But I guarantee you that connection ain't going to change the system. The machine is too advanced. Why worry about the system when we can just change ourselves and make a new world for ourselves? That's all I'm saying. And thank you for having me on, Jack. And Nemesis, thank you for listening. Even though sometimes I disagree with you, I still like you no matter what. And I respect you and respect everybody on the panel. And Jesse, good luck with your meet. Thank you. You guys have a nice night.
Well, I appreciate that. And if you ever want to discuss your conclusions, I'd be happy to. But
I think I think this is just growing pains, Jack. You know, I get emotional about past traumas. I can't help it. It's like something that's just and the things on my mind. I have a heavy heart, so whenever I hear stuff about sensitive subjects, you don't understand. Like I mean, you probably do understand because you're more like me, or we're similar because we both believe in the. I don't want to live with the fear. I fear for the generations coming after us. I fear, and I think that, and that's another thing too. That's another fear. But why fear whenever we could just stand up and we can just change this system? And because men made it, men control it. We're men. So, I mean, we're women. Why can't we just easily just say, no, that's not right. This is right. And then you just simply replace the missing link with, the correct link. That's all you got to do. And it's simple, but you just got to believe. That's it.
Nemesis, as a Christian, do you believe that we can fix the system, that we can change the system?
Yeah, we already are. Jack is evident. Like this movements like this, Jack's not the first one who started this. These movements, this is just we are. This God is revealing Himself to us. It's not that we can. It's that we are. You see what I mean, Jesse? It's like we are doing. It's not that we can. We are.
I love that answer. And so, do you think that we can stop revelation from happening?
Well, the Bible tells us no man knows the end, and we can speculate all we want, but ain't nobody gonna know the end because that's what it says. No man will know the end. All we can do is live without fear and just proceed forward in the path of faith. That's it. Time is now.
That's very wise of you to say.
And this is, like I said, this is what I've been learning. This is a reflection of it, and it might not sound verbatim, but this is what I'm learning. So that's what I'm asking people to do. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about my emotional states or other people. We might break down. Just worry about the message, and the message is real. And remember, Jack, I said earlier, what is real cannot be destroyed. Just like the earth is real, cannot be destroyed. Because God holds it in His hands.
All right, I'm ready to wrap up.
Thank you for having me, Jack, and you have a good night. And you too, the Missing Link Live, and everyone in chat. Thank you, everybody.
God bless you, brother. I appreciate you. Jesse?
Good stream, man. Good stream. Appreciate you and the energy you put into this. I know sometimes it's a roller coaster ride, having to deal with a lot of different people's energies and at times, and I know, you like to be heard, and sometimes it just gets a little bit overwhelming, and you're handling things so much better. I see such progress in you, and it's such it's so much, you know, nicer every day to come up here and hang out with you and, you know, the guests that come up here on panel every day for you.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you too. I'm gonna send you the back and do final words. Brothers and sisters, thank you sincerely to all who joined the panel today. This Sunday afternoon, the idea of providence, of God's good, that was really the topic I started with. And we cover a lot of things because life includes a lot of things. There's a lot of variables in life. There's a lot of wonder, a lot of curiosity, a lot of assumptions, and a lot of conclusions. And brothers and sisters, I think we're all learning how to live, how to be in this life. What has really allowed me to grow, to develop into myself, especially with this live without fear, is trusting, learning how to trust and to truly believe deep within my knowing of God's providence. There is something, a force, an energy, an intention. There's a design to nature and all that brings us forth. And it provides us, it sustains us, it nurtures us. I mean, there is patterns and forces and energies that create us into who we are. And who we are is the result of the past, the result of today. But in the end, now who we are today, it'll change. It won't be here tomorrow. We'll be different. And so tomorrow, brothers and sisters, should you make it back again, should we make it back again, I hope we'll share time again tomorrow. Sincerely, thank you again for joining. Peace for everyone. Choose love and live without fear. Thank you, and God bless us all.